Snapple is magnificent. That's right. Come on, everybody. Sing the Snapple song with me. Here we go. Snapple, Snapple, Snapple. It's great. Yeah. What the hell is this? Is this a 2001 theme? Snapple. 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 Snapple is all natural. Natural. All right, that's the new Snapple song. I hope everybody enjoyed it. I wrote it with a songwriter.
We're back.
I wrote it with that guy who writes a lot of the Bon Jovi songs. What's his name?
Desmond Child.
Yeah, Desmond Child. Me and him got together on that. He's had a lot of hits, so. Okay. We got to sing that again sometime. That's a good song. I'd like to be the spokesperson for Snapple in one of the commercials and sing that. Snapple is...
I can just see Wendy. Thank you for the song.
Yeah. Oh, natural. Natural. That Hammer wasn't a bad guy, huh?
That's nice.
Nice guy.
He's a great guy.
See a nice guy like that?
I can listen back to that whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
Jackie was...
That's best of.
Take a rest.
We should replay that whole interview tomorrow. I don't care what you say. Am I crazy? Or could you play back that whole thing?
Stella.
You know, if one more person comes up to me on the street and says the most annoying thing on the show is Robin trying to do me,
Yeah.
everybody says the same thing to every member of the show, that why doesn't she shut up? It's
Oh,
annoying.
really?
It's not funny.
I don't know. I find it funny.
Jackie, remember when you said Bubba Booey wasn't funny? It's
No,
funny.
I'm just reporting.
Funny to us.
Plunk the phone down. Ask somebody.
All right. I like it. Who cares what anyone else thinks?
Jackie's getting to the breaking point.
Yeah. I don't like it.
I don't like it.
I'm leaping on it today.
I don't care what you say. The whole thing is funny.
Shut up, Robin.
If one more person comes up.
One more person says that. I'm funny, Robin. Just tell her it's...
Nobody said that to you, Gary?
Not today.
Not today. Yeah, it's...
I got a few faxes. People said it was annoying when Robin does it,
Brings
but
down the
I like it.
show.
That's why I do it.
Brings down the show.
It's not funny.
It'll serve. I guess it serves when you have nothing witty to say.
It's not funny.
Let's go back to your sex life.
Yep. With Robin behind him, it's just like poking Jackie in the back.
I know. It drives them nuts. Sit quiet and take it.
Like the rest of us.
The more you wiggle, the more it makes me do it.
Right. Oh. I hate my work.
Oh.
All right, anyway, where were we?
I hate your work, too.
I hate your work. Whole business stinks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That was fun when you were going through that whole thing.
So then and the people get the recipes all wrong. Somebody told me they put peaches and champagne in their jacuzzi and
Oh, really?
Oh, boy.
But it's, no, I remember when you were like, all of a sudden it happened that you were handcuffed to a refrigerator and the guy kept you there against your will.
Why did it all end? Did we ever determine?
Well, I think that Robin basically got it out of her
I'm
system.
a Vulcan.
Yeah.
I'm like I get a 7-year itch kind of thing.
Yeah. And every once in a while, Robin will go like, you know how like you get into computers for a while, then you get into like maybe being at a health club for a while. You know, she got into sex for a while, and then she's on to something else.
Man.
I know my sexuality doesn't work that way. but hers works that way.
Turned it off like a faucet.
Yeah, it was like, that's it. I don't want it anymore. I don't want to be involved. It was amazing. Amazing. But women can do that. Some women.
Yes, I wouldn't
Robin.
categorize myself as
Right.
all women, Howard.
No, definitely not. Definitely you're unusual. But you still have that beautiful chest. That never goes away. And that's the thing. That always makes you so sexual. There's no way a woman with such a full chest could ever be looked at as anything but sexual.
What a waste.
I can only be looked at as sexual?
Those are beauties. Perfect. I've seen them.
You have not.
So is everyone.
You have not seen them. You saw a ghost image.
Public knowledge.
Public domain.
No, it's ghost image. That's all you saw.
We saw a love X-ray.
You know what I mean?
Ghost.
That makes you so feminine.
Oh, those beauties.
Oh, Jackie is ridiculous. You know, he gives me a weather report on them every day.
I know. Beautiful.
Tells me just where they are on my body.
Beautiful.
Oh.
They lead her around like a dog.
Wait for me.
You know, it's ridiculous because I have this little jacket I wear in here.
Right.
And somehow Jackie's always coming into the office just as I'm taking off this jacket.
Right.
And then I get the report. Wow!
Meanwhile, she wore something tighter than her skin yesterday.
Oh,
Right.
Like, she's really playing it down. Tell
Right.
me what she was wearing yesterday.
Exactly. The cat suit.
The cat suit.
Cat suit.
It was not a cat suit.
No, please. You should have been arrested for what you had on yesterday.
Yeah, isn't there public nudity laws? All right. Very good.
You guys are ridiculous.
All right. Let's
Wearing
take a
the same
break.
thing they wear.
Right.
That's right.
That's right. Okay. Let's take a break. Whenever we take a road trip, Gary carries. Stuttering John was in Gary's room when he was unpacking one time. Gary carries a whole separate bag of tooth stuff.
Yeah.
No, I wasn't unpacking. I had the whole counter. There was no space for anything else. It's a water pick.
Just like Frankenstein's lab.
It's a water pick, bottle of peroxide,
Right.
some baking soda. I have a little shot glass, little Metz shot glass that I
Right.
mix the...
You have your electric toothbrush.
No, I don't have an
That's
electric...
like his beaker.
What's the massage brush?
I don't have a massage brush.
Yes, you do.
No, he has one of those things. There's something you have. It's some
Water
kind of
pick?
implement.
It's a water pick.
Oh, is that what that is? And what is the one that massages? Did you have a massager?
No.
Oh, I thought you had something that you did some.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah.
This has to be videotaped.
Like
this
the,
time.
like
And you have your flossing materials?
Of course, yeah.
And your
In
those
fact,
little wooden dento things?
I just went to the Price Club and I got like 1,000 yards of floss so that I never run
Good
out.
for you. I'll tell you something. It looks like 3 Mile Island in his bathroom.
No, you guys might be getting confused when we go out in the winter times. That's when I have my asthma condition. So I have to bring my, what do you call those? My puffers? I don't know.
Oh, your air,
Inhaler.
My inhaler.
Yeah. Oh, that's
But-
right. That's when we saw the inhaler in your bathroom.
The week John saw me, I was moving off of one and onto a stronger one, so I had 2 inhalers.
All right.
And even Gorilla said that is the biggest inhaler I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, it is big.
Looks like an oxygen tank.
Well, but Gary can handle it. He's got big lips.
But let me ask you
And then he's got a
something.
whole bunch of lip gels and,
Didn't he have like an interplaque toothbrush?
Yes.
I had one
You
a long
did.
time ago.
Yeah,
Stop
I know.
using
I
that?
know I'm not imagining
Yeah.
this. And he broke it. He couldn't handle the
You
size
had to
of
get
his teeth.
another one?
You broke it, right?
It snapped.
It snapped. It snapped from the pressure.
Surprised he hasn't.
Then you have bleach, right? Anti-green bleach? Anyway, yeah.
But I might also have to bring my my mouth block. You know, the guard.
Oh,
that I-
Oh, that's right. And then he has his mouth
Because
block.
this will be a tense situation for Gary.
Yeah.
He has to coordinate a lot of things.
I'll be gnawing like crazy.
He has a mouth block that keeps it's like a dental dam, so he doesn't bite and chip his teeth during the night.
If he,
I'm dying to see that.
Yeah.
I'll be gnawing so much. If you guys need coleslaw, just give me some lettuce and I'll.
You know what we ought to do? We ought to get the pass key to his room and burst in the middle of the night and see what it looks like. Because you know he'll never show
I'll
us.
show it to
otherwise.
you.
Will you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because
It's
you've been
like
waiting a
one
long
of those
time.
cards.
it looks exactly like what a football player wears.
I'll decide what it looks like. You let me see it.
It's clear. So imagine.
Right. I just want to see it. I'll describe
Can
it
you imagine? Already his teeth are so big he can't get his lips closed around.
during the night.
And he's got that thing.
Yeah, that's
set
what must look
over
funny. He must have that big guard, and then his lips are even having more to fight against.
And then, of course, when I wake up, I'm so dry from the mouth guard that I'm like,
Have you been wearing your mouth guard every night?
No, I haven't worn it in
Really?
a few months.
Yeah, I guess your wife misses it. So anyway, somebody knows of somebody good. Because, like, I'm too lazy to read the paper. If you come across something good in the paper, Robin, let me know.
All right. We've only, we're so negative, though. We only
Doesn't Koch
point out
know
the
anybody?
bad people.
Okay, why don't I call... It can't be Robin. No
I'm
one's going to
not
vote for
going
Robin.
to
She's
be
too
in
busy.
politics, and I have a past.
Right.
Busy.
She's had 3 inputs. Who's going to vote for that? Yeah, she's been changed to a refrigerator. Who's going to vote for her?
Ah, that's
the
right. I
competition
can't
get a
have
hold of
people
that.
looking into my past.
Yeah, we'll get that tape from your ex-boyfriend.
That videotape's probably still floating around.
Surface quick.
So I,
On Midnight Blue next.
you know, I'm going to call up Mayor Koch because Senator D'Amato doesn't seem to want to tell me who to.
He has not returned your call.
Well, he's behind this Republican guy, so. Okay, would you call Mayor Koch and ask him for the name of 3 solid candidates that I could run with? Thank you.
You just want a short list of 3.
Yeah. If you'd like to call in with the list, or if he wants to just give it to you, I would appreciate it. Okay? Whoever he says is good, I know is good.
Have the Libertarians provided you with anybody?
Sure, they got a bunch of people, but come on.
Are they any good?
Who knows? I don't have time to
Howard's
check them out.
not, into the research.
I'm really busy.
Well, have him come down.
I'm like Ronald Reagan. I see the
Have
big
them come
picture.
down and interview him. Quick
No.
interview.
Why don't you do it, Fred? He's asking for your help.
No, he already
I
told me
can't,
no.
Robin, I can't.
He can't do anything.
As you and Jackie have both pointed out, I'm inept.
Well, why don't you prove yourself for once?
I'm
Come
sorry,
up with a name.
I won't
was
do that.
just-
I think in the past I
Howard
have
calls
proved
Fred
myself
inept,
as-
and he says that it's me.
No, I was just telling
You
you,
were
what
thinking
Jackie
it.
says about you. I didn't say
No,
Right.
you
you know
were
what it
inept.
is? It's like
I love you.
crack the dam, and Jackie just
excuse
seals
me.
it.
I put my money where my mouth is. I work with you. Jackie wouldn't hire you.
No, Jackie.
That's right.
Jackie,
Right?
Jackie would bury me.
Exactly. I'm your pal, not Jackie. Don't sit
I
there
would
with
never
Jackie in the
sing
jock
Fred's
lounge.
praise.
Don't throw me in with him.
Afterwards,
I was
there's a
just
big.
telling you what he
Afterwards, I
said.
seen the jock lounge. Big party yesterday. Billy West, Jackie Martling, and Fred Norris all sitting there, avoiding me. Fred, I'm your friend, not those two.
I wasn't
They
avoiding
put a knife in your back.
I was avoiding you.
He was avoiding me.
You're out of place to help.
Thank you. I like to keep my riders at each other's throats.
Yes, always make them think that everyone's against them.
So funny. You know what's funny? Jackie didn't say one bad word about Fred ever that I've ever heard. And Fred now hates him.
No,
He
you've got it
has
all
hated
wrong.
me.
Jackie does hate me.
Well, that's only because Fred's convinced that everybody hates him.
Right.
It's because I know it's true.
Oh, you're right.
Well, you are right.
There you go.
It's comments like that just solidify this.
Yeah, you can say 100 nice things, but if you say one thing in jest,
Oh, that's
he goes
baloney.
nuts. Look,
That's
he's out of his mind. Look.
Fred Norris is the most normal, capable man I've ever met.
Why don't you shut up, Toothy?
Toothy tooth.
Yeah, he's got nerve.
Well, listen.
I got nerves with you.
Fred can imitate me for 3 hours. And
Fred, I love you. I don't care what anyone
Oh,
says.
baloney.
I do.
See,
Baloney. Yeah.
There you go.
do you believe I love you, Fred?
No.
I don't believe you love Fred.
And that was your best shot.
No one believes you love Fred.
I don't think she has love in her bones.
Oh, come on, Jackie. You're
I think
my
she has
best
bones in
friend.
her love, though.
So anyway, I got to get myself a candidate.
Yes.
We have this big rock star bus.
Yes.
It's got
It's not big
it
enough
sleeps
for
12.
Fred's there.
What?
It's not big enough for Fred's.
So you better take the upper berth and Fred will take the lower.
So many people want to come now. You know, just this morning, Debbie Tay, Elena Beastie, Miss Howard Stern have all called and want to be part of the bus.
Well, we should certainly.
Now, we're limited. Remember, we only have like 3 or 4 slots on the bus.
Elephant Boy or Elena Beastie?
That's a tough one.
Yeah, it really is
Yeah, I don't know. We got to plan this out.
Yeah, we're getting ahead of ourselves.
Exactly.
Fiasco.
We'll be the fiasco is you and Fred on the same bus,
Well, you and Fred in that room during a commercial break should
you
be
go.
interesting.
right?
Oh, stop it.
I have no problems with Robin.
I'm not in
I'm not
there.
talking about Robin. I'm talking about you and Jackie.
Oh, me and Jackie. I have no problem with Jackie.
Really?
I really don't. I know Jackie resents me,
Oh.
but that's.
All right. Well,
Where
listen.
do you get the word resents? For what?
I don't know, but there's just a certain hostility that you have towards
From me.
from you.
See, Jackie, you give off a vibe.
And me,
I
Fred?
guess I am a
Oh, it's
hostile
definite
person.
vibe from you.
What kind of a vibe?
A negative vibe.
And what
You
about
think I don't
John?
like you?
I think there is a hostility. Yes.
What do you think it's based
A
on?
two-pronged hostility.
What do you believe it's based on?
I agree with you.
I think there's. it's my instinct.
but you
I
don't.
agree with you.
I understand what you're saying. I know what he's saying. I see it coming from
You
Gary.
sense it?
It's not from me, but I
He
sense it
thinks
from Gary.
Gary thinks he's superior to you.
Absolutely not.
Right?
Absolutely, he does.
I do not think I'm superior to Fred.
I know you don't, but I had to
Gary's
say
Fred's
it.
boss, right?
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah.
Gary is Fred's boss.
I wouldn't give Fred an order if I was his boss.
You notice no one has ever given Fred an order?
What's an order?
All right, listen, I think it's getting out of hand. I got to take a break here. Cool everyone down.
Oh, please.
All my staff. Hi, you're on the air. Yeah. I can barely hear you.
Spoke to Howard.
Yeah, I can barely hear you.
Yeah, obviously he can't hear you either.
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah.
Yes.
I want to talk to Howard.
Yeah, you're talking to him.
No, I'm not.
All right, thanks for the call. Goodbye.
What? Hello?
I'm not going to convince you that it's me. I don't know how to win that one. Goodbye. I said goodbye.
Howard?
Yes.
How you doing? I got the tape 2 days ago.
Now, that couldn't have been that hard to say. It just couldn't be that hard to get that thought out.
That sentence was a tough one. Try another sentence. Hello?
Yeah. And I just took a little peek because I'm saving it for Saturday. And it looks really great.
Okay. Hey, I'm glad you got it. I hope you enjoy it.
And
Have a good Saturday.
Why are you saving the tape for Saturday? Why are you putting yourself through this?
because I want my brother and my cousin to see it.
Oh, I thought it was because you couldn't find your VCR. Couldn't rewind it.
Again.
So you want to watch it with your brother?
And your cousin.
Yeah.
So you want to watch it with them, and in other words, you want to see it for the first time with them?
Right.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
you're saving it like a movie.
all right, that's legitimate.
And what's it called? I sent my $15 in to the Libertarian Party.
Oh, boy.
So you're going to be in Albany with us?
Yeah.
You sure?
Don't you want to watch the video? Stay home and watch the video? Did they ever send you anything back?
Not yet.
All right. I don't know if they do send anything back. Maybe
I don't
you just,
know that you get anything back.
yeah, maybe you just registered.
We haven't gotten anything back, have we?
No. Yeah, well, anyway, we're going to be up in Albany next weekend.
Oh, it's next weekend already.
Yeah.
Howard, when are the posters going to run out?
Oh, now you got the poster. You want to make sure no one else
Yeah,
gets one.
he's
No,
got
I was
his.
just wondering when,
Well, as soon as enough are ordered, then they will run out. We only made a limited amount.
do you have any idea?
I don't know. I don't know exactly when they'll run out.
All
No.
right. You said you're going to do a poster signing, right?
What, up in
Maybe.
Albany? Up in Albany, I'll sign your poster. You know, I'll try. Can't guarantee it, but if you come up there, I'll, as long as you're voting for me at the convention. Hello?
I feel like we're on satellite and there's some kind of delay.
No, we're on Pluto. You get mail on Pluto?
Fred gets smell on Mars.
Right. All right, hey, listen, I'm going to go, okay?
It's a nice day. Have a nice day. It was a pleasure talking to you.
What?
Well, one more thing.
Yeah.
How come you always knock in Nassau Community in Delphi?
You go to Nassau Community?
No, I graduated.
Ah.
So you're a college graduate?
Nassau Community.
Oh, I didn't realize someone this intelligent had graduated Nassau Community. How could I knock them? No, you got to admit, you don't sound like a college graduate. Am I correct?
I just woke up.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying, even for someone who just woke up, now you can see why I knock Nassau Community. The idea that you went to college and graduated. Did you graduate?
Yeah, magna cum.
Magna cum laude?
Yeah.
It's called magna cum laude. Magna cum.
I was going to ask him if he's taping this conversation.
He shouldn't listen to it.
I was going to say, just listen back and you will understand.
You should be the poster boy for Nassau Community College. No, you don't have what we would call an excellent command of the language. And the idea that you could...
I was really nervous.
Right, I know that, but I'm just saying, for you to say I graduated
Magna cum.
magna cum when you can't even say magna cum laude. You know what I'm saying? and then you say, why do I knock Nassau Community College? It's precisely for this reason. Where a guy like you, who really should never have even been allowed in college.
What do you do now that you've graduated?
What?
What do you do now that you've graduated?
I'm a psychiatric social worker.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
Wait. Spell psychiatric.
Spell imbecile.
What?
Spell imbecile. Spell the word imbecile.
Come on, Howard.
I'm being serious. Spell it.
No, I'm
I bet you can't. You're not a psychiatric social
Yeah, why'd
worker.
you lie?
What are you?
What?
What do you do to make money?
Electronics.
What do you do to make money? Tell the truth.
Electronics.
Or what do you do in electronics?
Technician.
Yeah, be more specific.
I fix power supplies.
All right, you work for the phone company?
No,
Lilco?
no, power supplies like
All right, listen.
He doesn't even know what he fixes.
I know. Okay, listen to me.
If you have good grades in Nassau, you can go to Yale or Harvard.
Ah, right.
Yeah. Well, you were magna cum laude. Why didn't you go to Yale or Harvard?
He was busy.
I didn't. I didn't have the money.
I see.
They should have given you a scholarship.
Magna cum, you think that Yale would be looking for you? No, I make fun of Nassau Community because really, with guys like you graduating, how can you not?
Really, what do you fix?
You don't sound like a college grad. You're not very articulate. Right? All right, listen, I got to go. Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to go.
Right. Nice to talk to you.
Same here. Bye-bye.
Oh, boy.
Barely. I don't even think he knew how to use the phone. I think he was talking into the wrong
He'll
end.
never make it to Albany.
No, I'm not watching Rush Limbaugh. I never watched that show. That guy makes me sick. That fat jackass didn't have a balls to say anything. Scavoza draft dodger. Oh, I had a trick knee. I couldn't go. And turned out he didn't have a trick knee. Turned out his daddy got him out.
That was the trick.
That's the trick.
Well, if you move to Dallas, you could.
I wonder how many guys died in place of that fat pig so he can breathe air. How many guys their names are listed on the wall so that fat pig can sit there and tell women what to do about abortion. And sit there and rip off my whole attitude and ideas. Gee, I was in radio for years. I couldn't figure out what to do. They threw me out. And then I couldn't get a job, even though my dad owned a radio station. And then I heard Howard, and I figured out I could actually talk. I fought 3 tours of duty in Vietnam so that fat slob could live. Christ.
Well,
I was trapped in a gook village. I had absolutely no gun on me. 50 guys coming at me. I had to crash my helicopter into them to wipe out the village and save my platoon so that fat slob could sit there and talk. Have free speech.
Well, if you move to Dallas, you could be governor of Texas for sure.
I had to sit there and I was starving to death. I had to eat the fingers of the Vietnamese, the Viet Cong. I had to eat their fingers so I could live. You ever eat a finger?
No.
All right, good. Right, Robin? Right.
I don't know if I can confirm that or affirm it, Howard.
Very little sauce on those fingers.
Jesus.
Just the natural oils.
Just regular old, were they roasted, fried,
Very funny.
or just raw?
Not over here. You too enjoying the
Gook
freedoms.
fingers.
Yeah. Finger de gook, that's called.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Oh, just fine. Who am I speaking to, Howard?
You were speaking to the next governor of New York State.
Okay, fine. Okay. The reason why I called you up, I have a good campaign. Tommy, turn that radio down.
Tommy, get your ass in gear and turn on the radio.
Who is Tommy?
Who is Tommy?
That's my husband.
Tommy.
Okay, I have a good campaign slogan for Howard Stern.
Yes.
If they are found guilty, no rehabilitate, eliminate.
Ah.
How's that?
You're my kind of lady.
Okay, I like you, Howard.
I like
also,
you.
Howard, like we talk about caning. Well, over here it would sound better. A good whipping on the ass would bring back a right attitude. Flogging. That's what
You betcha. You betcha. You understand. You know why? Because you're an old timer. You know what I'm talking
listen,
about.
Howard. Yes, I have. Hey, Howard.
Remember when you could walk the street? I bet you remember going on the subway and being able to go at 2 in the morning on the subway, I bet.
Howard, I'm calling from Richtown, Ohio.
Right.
Yeah, with the way I was raised, we got flogging, and it didn't hurt us a bit.
I bet you had your share of beatings.
You better believe
You're
that.
right. To set you straight. I see you behave yourself.
You're right, Howard, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. That's the retarded Ann Landers checking in. Very good.
Isn't her husband, don't you think? He's Tommy. I think he's old enough to be called Thomas.
Tom, I think by the time you hit 90, you should be a Thomas. All right, very good, though. She supports my campaign all the way from Ohio, and I can't argue with that.
Maybe you could be president.
I could be. I'm going to win. It's a big joke now, but you wait and see when we get near November.
But you are incorrect in saying that there's a lot of problems with flogging in this country. Most people polled agree that the boy in Singapore should be beaten.
Yeah, but you'll never see it in this country because we're out of control and we don't want to admit it. We want to sit there. It's lazy politicians. They all want to tell you it's my show that's causing the problem, and it's, it's violence on TV. The liberals actually tell you violence on TV. The liberals hate violence, and the conservatives hate sex. The conservatives will tell you it's sex on TV. Sex is terrible, and the liberals will tell you it's violence on TV.
This kid, Michael Fay, has been sentenced by a Singapore court to only 6 lashes.
Oh, wait till you see those lashes. They cane you unconscious with six karate lashes.
It's a water-soaked, split rattan cane.
Oh, yow.
Yowza.
Oh, baby.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
And with each caning will come the sound that all of us love. For the first beat, second beat, third beat, the fourth, the fifth, the sixth. Now that's a satisfied customer. Very good.
Yeah, the way they're talking, you think they were going to beat this kid all day and night. So
believe me.
6 lashes, he could be home already.
Rob, when we come back, I want to do some news. Did you read this?
I saw the headline.
Dom DeLuise accused in hotel sex scandal. Police investigate shocking charges that Dom DeLuise molested a bellhop, a male bellhop.
Now, is that possible? We have met Dom DeLuise.
He didn't molest me, so I'm the sexiest guy around.
You're a little sex pot.
You got to read, though, the moves he put on the guy. You got to hear this. You got to hear this. So they contact Dom DeLuise. In his defense, he said, I don't know anything about this, but...
Was he at the hotel?
I don't know. This is all he said. I don't know anything about it.
Oh, okay.
According to this, Dom was staying at all places at Merv Griffin Resorts Hotel Casino in Atlantic City, New Jersey. And evidently, they described this bellhop as a muscular worker. He claims the 300-pound star, Dom DeLuise, summoned him to his room 5 times after midnight on March 25th and touched him more and more intimately with each visit.
Wait a minute. What was he summoning him for?
Room service.
Bellhop services.
Chop, chop.
All right, now let me tell you what we have here. Here is the startling story. The bellhop says his nightmare began on the night of Thursday, March 24th, when the hotel's limo dispatcher told him to deliver a bottle of heart medication left in a limo to room 801, which was Dom DeLuise's room.
Okay.
You understand?
All right, there's a come on.
Mr. DeLuise asked me in. After taking a few minutes, he made a comment on my physique and asked if I lifted weights. All right? I advised him that I did. He approached me and started squeezing the muscle in my upper right arm. He then began to poke at my chest muscle, and he squeezed the muscle above my right knee.
Now, it's funny to me that a 300-pound man would be interested in physiques.
The bellhop told the cops. The star then handed him a personally autographed postcard. So he feels the guy,
Feels him up.
All right, so he feels him up, and then he hands him an autographed postcard.
That's nice.
His pudgy fingers moving swiftly. Although I see this picture of DeLuise in a beret, I can see why no man could resist him.
But, when you're 300 pounds, why do you care about muscle?
Well, he just was impressed with the man's physique and said, boy, you're really working out. So even the bellhop says, delighted with the souvenir, the bellboy showed it. Can you believe he was delighted with an autographed postcard of Dom DeLuise? Hey, look at this.
I got his photograph.
What a souvenir.
Delighted with the souvenir, the bellboy showed it to hotel security officer Ben Stefanelli.
Hey, look at this, Ben.
The guard warned him to be careful around the star, the bellhop said.
Oh, no.
Stefanelli told police that the bellhop asked him, "Is Dom funny?" The guard replied, "Rumor is he is."
What does that mean?
I don't know.
He's a comedian.
Yeah.
I like his jokes.
The very next night, Dom DeLuise called the bellhop to his room at 1:45 in the morning, saying he needed some letters mailed. The bellhop says he froze as Dom began touching his chest and thigh muscles while saying, "That's magnificent."
That's magnificent.
At 2:30 in the morning, the bellboy claims he was called back to Dom's room and endured more touching. Though he felt uncomfortable, he explained, "I didn't want to offend Mr. DeLuise in case I was wrong
Excuse me,
and
why
jeopardize my job."
keep coming to the room? There are other bellhops in the hotel.
Well, maybe Dom had to audition him for the Buttman sketch.
But wouldn't you say, hey, why don't you go up? Because I got a little uncomfortable in Dom's room the last time I was up there.
Oh, come on. It's exciting. Going up to Dom DeLuise's room and he admires your physique. Yeah, wouldn't you be like a little suspicious after one visit?
Yeah, I wouldn't go up again.
At 3, especially somebody warned you already. At 3:30 a.m., Dom sent for the bellhop and touched him again. Another call came in at 4:15 in the morning, and this time, the worker took along a friend, a security guard. When Dom spotted the two of them standing there in the hallway, he quickly dismissed the bellhop, police were told. See, so. But about an hour later, Dom called for the bellhop again and touched him more intimately than ever, according to the authorities.
Well, how intimate is that?
What face?
More intimate than ever. God knows what he did. Let's see. Dom's seduction attempts culminated in a sexual attack at 3:30 in the morning the next night, the bellboy told police. Dom grabbed and fondled the young man, sending him fleeing from the room.
This was a man who had to call down for heart medication.
A security guard who escorted the star to his dressing room the following day later told police that Dom also fondled him and tricked him into wearing a slingshot bikini and a leather mask.
He's so wily. And a bunny costume.
Hey, maybe Dom was just trying to test the guys for prostate cancer. What is it, Gary?
You want to talk to a guy who was hired to do publicity on Dom's last film in New York?
Yeah.
And had a few incidents.
Uh-oh.
Really?
See, the plot thickens.
Well, I don't want to.
What do you want? What do you want?
Well, I can tell you one of the incidents.
I don't want to get into this.
That he claims, and then you can decide if you want to talk to him.
Yeah.
He said that, that he was in Dom's hotel room, and that Dom said that he had hired a masseuse for later on that evening.
Right.
But couldn't wait?
No, he said he really liked to get a massage, and the guy said, I've never had one of those. So Dom started massaging him, and he just thought that Dom was being nice, and then he said he reached around.
He checked him for prostate cancer.
No, he tried to kiss him.
Really?
Well,
it looks like.
Stop it, Jack. It's a tongue.
You know what? Let me, in all fairness to Mr. DeLuise, this guy could be a total fake. I haven't checked him out, so I will not allow that story.
Okay.
All right, thank you. I will not allow that into the record. I'll stick with the Inquirer.
They've checked their facts.
They checked their facts. Let's see. Let's continue with this. I'll ignore all 400 calls coming in now. And continue with this story. What's the matter with kissing a guy? Just looking for some friendly...
Kurt Cobain used to kiss his bassist.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, well, they were dating. A security guard who escorted the star... Okay, I told you that. The bellhop filed his police complaint March 28th. If the case reaches a grand jury, it will be up to the jurors to decide whether to indict Dom on charges of sexual criminal contact. And you got to say to yourself, Robin, as you point out, the bellhop really didn't have to continue to go back
Why would you keep going back? A guy gets more and more intimate with you each time. What are you looking for?
If the star is arrested, could end up with a $7,500 or up to 18 months in jail for each pinch. Mr. says here, Mr. DeLuise is hoping for a hung jury. Well, there you go. Gee, I always thought, he says here he's married and has 3 children.
Yes, he has sons.
You see a picture here with his lovely wife. Kind of looks like a guy, actually.
Oh, stop it.
Oh, jeez.
No, actually, she looks like a very lovely woman. It's very, very sad that he would be accused of this. Hard to believe, but...
I hope that these allegations are cleared up quickly before they damage his reputation.
Exactly, because, God forbid he's not in the next Burt Reynolds Buddy movie.
Could have kissed him by accident.
I always thought Burt Reynolds' friends were kind of interesting. Charles Nelson Riley and Dom DeLuise. I'm not saying anything. I don't know anything about these guys. I don't know. I just always thought it was interesting.
Didn't they all get together and create that great game show? Remember that Bert Convy show?
Oh, yes. They created Pictionary.
Yeah.
Fantastic. The level of creativity in the room was staggering. Bert Convy, Burt Reynolds, Dom DeLuise,
and Harvey Korman.
Harvey Korman and...
what was that other guy's name?
Charles Nelson Riley.
Yes.
Oh, Bert. I'll draw a little picture, see if you can get the idea of what I'm trying to say.
It's a bellhop. Oh.
And a big deal was when Bert came to do the show.
Yeah, that was great. Win, lose, or draw. Win, lose, or draw. Bert would sometimes show up with Lonnie and actually participate in the show.
They play against each other.
Yeah. It's Bert's favorite game. I think he drove him over the edge. Lonnie beat me at Pictionary.
She got better at it than I was.
I invented this.
That's why I had to divorce her.
Look, Lonnie's drawing a picture. It's a guy with a lot of hair on his head. That's me. Lonnie's drawing me with some hair on my head.
What, is she making fun?
Oh, I'm going to kill her. I need to relax.
And then Bert Convy had to die of brain cancer.
Bring me a waitress. Let's adopt a kid. Let's get us a white baby. I need to punch. Where's Judy Carn? All right.
Kathy Lee, I'm falling apart.
That must have been up on the set of Evening Shade. Burt Reynolds fell into the arms of Kathy Lee Gifford and started weeping. I'm falling apart. I need you.
I'm a mess. I'm a mess, Kathy Lee. You're the one I'll come to when I fall apart. Kathy, I feel as old as your husband. Charles Durning, Ozzie Davis, all my friends. We can't take Hollywood anymore. Weep, weep, weep. Won't even kiss me.
I feel really good for Dom DeLuise's wife, that beautiful picture standing next to him as he's accused.
Happy family.
Yeah, happy family. She looks a little like Edie McClurg, his wife.
Really?
Yeah, a little bit. Weep, weep, weep. All right, let's take a break, and we'll be back right after these words. What is it?
The Terry Hatcher movie will be here in 2 days.
Oh, excellent.
Oh, you're going to see it.
Oh, Lois Lane.
This particular one where she does the nude scene?
Yeah, good thing we're getting it because it says here in the article she's really afraid that it's going to wreck her image, the movie.
What image does she have?
I mean, she has having those big cans out every week on the set of Superman.
Look at that poster that's on the door. We have this poster of her and Superman. All you can see is breasts.
Yeah. Carrie Fisher should learn a lesson or two from that.
There you go.
Then she wouldn't be losing her boyfriend to guys. I tell you, I've seen the Star Wars movie.
Boyfriend to guys.
I've seen that Star Wars movie like 6 or 7 times. I'll tell you the truth, and I don't mean
That's
this.
the most fantastic thing about it, that everybody's hot for her.
No, the fantastic thing is Luke Skywalker is cuter than her. I'd have sex with him. Wookiee too. The Wookiee's cuter than her. How bad must a woman be in bed when you wake up one morning and find out?
Now, don't blame the woman. The
It's your
guy's
boyfriend.
gay.
Oh, come on. How do you know she didn't drive him to it?
There's a reason.
She's so
There's a reason.
She's so bad.
You guys, you know what? People don't break up because one person is bad.
That's right.
I
I
don't
can't
know.
stay with you anymore.
I've decided to go sleep with a man.
Because according to you, your wife should have left you for a woman.
You pushed me over the edge.
Yeah. You know, I've never thought of guys before sexually until you. Yeah, that's wild. That's got to wreck a woman's whole psyche.
It has nothing to do with the fact we live in Hollywood. None of that.
Man. Yeah, maybe he thought he could hack women for a while. Maybe he was homo and he tried to straighten himself out. They couldn't hack
a
it.
lot of people have tried that. Elton John tried it.
A lot of guys are mean that way. They know they're homosexual.
You remember that? He
Yeah,
got
oh, yeah.
married to a woman, and
That
now
isn't
he
right.
admits to Barbara Walters. Has to come out on national television and say, I just couldn't stand her physically.
Yeah, nice. Humiliate a woman. Poor Carrie Fisher laying there in bed all stunned.
Pregnant and stunned.
Hey, Carrie, if I was you, I would call my dad for advice. He's not exactly a guy who... he's straight, but he's certainly...
Is that you, Liz?
Not a great guy at picking relationships.
Right.
How's my new face?
Well, that's too bad. I'm sorry to see that. You know, some of us are lucky at love and some aren't. Let's try to find a guy who's into the women.
You know, first Paul Simon.
Paul Simon's into women.
But, you know, that didn't work out too well.
Yeah, he wasn't good enough for her. She had to have a knight in shining armor. Oh, she got him all right.
He likes women with spears.
Yeah. Well, there you go. That'll teach you, Robin. Stay away from
That's
guys
why I
who...
stay away from everybody.
That's
Nobody
right.
can tell what anybody's
Good
up
for
to.
you. Good for you, Robin. To be totally antisocial.
Look who's talking. If you weren't married now, you'd be me.
No,
You got married early before you turned antisocial.
Let me tell you something. I'd be with some young broads. Oh,
bet
the
you
bevy of
would.
beauties I'd have.
I would love to see that.
Give me 10 minutes single.
I don't. Look at him. I don't want to go out.
I'd go out. No, I don't want to go out with my wife.
Let me stay home.
Let me go out with a young broad. I'll come to life.
You're 19.
19 years old. That's 2 years older than Shoshana.
So what you're telling me is you would have gone to the rainforest and stayed at the dinner to impress the girl with...
No, I would have left the rainforest so I could go have sex.
Oh,
I would have left in the middle of the show.
What are you gonna do to impress the girl?
I would have been having sex during the rainforest concert. We would have been making out in the seats. Are you crazy?
In the rainforest.
Right. I'd be in, you know whose rainforest.
You don't go there to bid on items and show how much money you
Yeah,
throw
oh, yeah.
around and all that stuff?
Sure.
Who you can introduce her to?
I'd have sex in the car.
Because you're 19.
19, you need a lot of sex.
You like to stay out late.
Yeah,
I
younger.
will too now.
Young girl. Terry
You never
Hatcher
talked
would be
about
mine.
That woman at the concert who was wearing sort of no dress at all.
Yeah, it was a woman in a see-through dress. Parading around. Anyway, Robin, come on, let's
No
do news.
underwear, just a mesh thing over her
Guess who
body.
pointed it out to me?
Who?
Robin.
Ah!
Oh. Howard, you have to look at that she's wearing no dress. You
Why
see
is
right
she
through it.
wearing that dress? You can see right through it.
She should have been naked.
She wants to be naked.
I wanted her naked. I love girls. Terry Hatcher's a girl. That's a girl.
See, I wish you could really know these people.
Me too.
Not just look at them and imagine what
I wish I could get to know them so I could report back to you if
Yes,
they're
I
really...
want to. I stop all this fantasizing.
Robin thinks I care if they're nice people.
I wish you would just go out and have the misery of being with them for 15 or 20 minutes and realizing that they only care about themselves.
Yeah, I would hate that. I'd have 2 great years with her and then I'd leave her for a man.
You couldn't take 10 minutes.
Really upset her. You know what I'd like to do? I'd like to date Carrie Fisher and then like leave her for a man as a joke. Like, you know, like you go, just, like, you know, really.
I'm leaving you for a man.
If I was single, I would do stuff just to goof on women. I would have sex with, I would meet Carrie Fisher, I'd wine and dine her, have sex with her, maybe even have a kid with her. And then like, you know, like a year later, just go up to her, it's like an April Fool's joke, and go, Carrie, I don't know how to say this. I'm in love with someone else. Oh, with your father, Eddie Fisher.
Yes, I'm running away with your father.
I'm running away.
Imagine a poor girl and she finally stops going on dates again, and like a waiter will come over to the table and she'll be checking out to see if her date is checking out.
Yeah, and I'll start checking out other guys with her.
Yeah, she didn't know who to worry about, the women or the men.
That would be funny. You'll have to break the news to our child. I'm a homo. Leaving you for a guy.
Oh, can you imagine? Now that's the worst.
I totally made a charade out of your life. I made a mockery of our relationship.
And then you're gonna have to explain it to a child.
I really thought I'd straighten out.
Thought you'd be the one. It's hard for me to live with this.
I'm suffering too. Weep, weep, weep.
Would I like the waiter?
I'm in love with the writer.
Does Carrie do these things just so she'll have something to write about?
Oh, yeah, now she'll have like 3 books. Volumes 1, 2, and 3.
Tricked again, 1.
Yeah.
Tricked again, 2.
Nasty tricks, too. This is as hard for me as it is for you, Carrie. I'm in love with the waiter.
And the airline steward. And the salesman at Bloomingdale's.
I tried to be in love with you, but I'm in love with guys.
Every time I kissed you, I wanted to vomit.
That'd be cool if he does like a Barbara Walters interview and talks about how he wanted to puke every time he kissed her.
She smelled like a girl.
She needs a man like me to straighten her out, like say, hey, you're still desirable. I'll go in there and tie her up.
I looked between your legs and something was missing.
Shut up, you're crying like a girl.
Flip over and talk lower.
Talk in a deeper voice. Carrie. Hey, that's a man's name, Carrie. I thought you were a guy.
All this crying is hot.
I've been in love with the pool boy ever since I first met you, and I try to deny myself, but to no avail. I do love you in the sense of the psychic sense, but the physical sense, I'm turned off by your body and face.
So what kind of guys do you like?
What?
What kind of guys do you like?
Can we be friends and discuss what kind of guys we like?
You know, Carrie, we're after the same thing.
Yeah. Maybe it'll work out. Go glue some hair to your back.
Yeah. Could you try to look more like a guy?
Do you have Harrison Ford's home phone number?
He's straight.
I know, but I like him. I could convert him.
All right, let's do some real news. This is absurd. There must be something real going on.
Let me see what else is going on here. I told you about Ella Fitzgerald.
Lost her legs.
She's had both of her legs amputated below the knee because... Oh, Jackie.
Oh, Jackie, you've got some class.
Did you send her a case of Yoo-hoo?
Woman is a national treasure.
Now they're burying her legs. Do they bury your legs after they amputate them?
You make soup out of them.
No, stop it. They don't bury them. They go to a lab somewhere.
Really?
You would keep Ella's legs, wouldn't you?
Really, what do they do with the leg? Like, that's a major part of your body. That's almost
celery.
Don't they have to bury it? And then, like, they let you join the rest of it when you die?
Put you in parts?
Yeah.
You know, this is where the rest of me is going to be. Ella Fitzgerald's legs you have on the little monument in front.
Get a big cauldron.
They took off both legs?
Yeah, below the knee.
Wow.
She had really nice legs. I saw her on an airplane once. Very pretty legs.
Because of the complications of diabetes.
Yeah.
She's had this operation for months, but nobody ever said anything. They like to keep things pretty quiet about Ella's private life. But somebody spoke to someone, and then it showed up in the paper. So now they've gone public and said, yes, the amputation was done last year.
Isn't that kind of funny? It's like, you know what it reminds me of? When Gilbert Gottfried had his appendix burst, he called up the show here and he said, listen, please don't say anything about it. I don't want to be the front page of the Post with, about my appendix bursting, and I don't want to see it plastered all over the newspapers. So then months went by. Nobody even wrote anything that he was missing or that he was in the hospital. So he started calling the newspapers.
Yeah, and planting stories about himself.
About that he was in the hospital. So people would remember that he was around. It's like Ella Fitzgerald. She had it done. They probably went through secrecy. They wanted Ella Fitzgerald. And then after a couple of months, she probably went,
Nobody even asked where I am.
No one even notices I don't have feet anymore.
Diabetes. I had diarrhea.
Where's my leg?
My leg is gone. Ow!
This dude does some of that scatting.
That's what she does, scat singing.
Yeah.
I always enjoyed songs with no words. Hey, learn a word, a lyric. Give me something that I can grasp onto. You fool me, all right. Fool me into buying this record. Ooh ya, fool ya.
Oh, you fool you, oh, you fool you, oh, you fool you, oh, you fool you.
Where my legs? Where my legs? Where my legs?
No toes, no toes.
No toes, no toes, no toes.
Yeah, well, they did amputate a toe at one point.
Well, she was a heavy-set woman. She should have done something about her. A lot of heavy people, they end up getting diabetes at an old age, and they, it's like you got to take care of yourself.
Her legs must have been tired anyway.
Supporting that weight.
She turned 76 on April 25th.
Elephant Gerald.
Elephant Gerald.
That's a terrible thing to say.
Sorry.
I didn't say it.
Jackie made me say it.
She's best known for her improvisational scat singing. These people have no respect.
I like when she breaks the glass with her voice.
Blew up my legs.
How about if her high voice blows up her legs?
What else can I breaks?
There was another airstrike on Bosnian Serbs overnight as well. More NATO planes flying over, dropping bombs. Here's some natural sound of what's going on over there.
Yeah, we don't get to hear bombs going off around here, so let's listen to them going off in another country.
Confirm we're dropping. And it's affirmative. You're cleared to drop south side of the river. I'm at your right 4 o'clock now. Copy. I got the target on my nose. Yeah, what are you aiming at, Chip? I'm at right at a tent.
It's not like these guys know what they're doing.
Fortunately, dropping on a command post tent.
Copy that.
I hear you.
Let me know when you're fine running.
We on top 5. Bomb splash, bomb splash.
Baba Booey, Baba Booey.
Boy, war is hell.
It sure is.
Awfully messy.
You know what they should do? They should drop Ella's legs on there. Since they don't know what to do with them. Imagine you get bonked in the head by a leg. Unbelievable. A lot of sad stories, Robin. A lot of. When will we have peace? Why can't we all get together?
I wish you would find out.
I don't know.
I hope that's one of your part of your platform, bringing us all together.
Well, I'll certainly try my administration.
As you rule the state of New York, I hope you make an example.
I will rule and goof on other people's tragedies. Go ahead. I'll be the least sympathetic governor in the whole world.
You know Sarah Brady? She's the
Sure do.
wife of the man who was shot.
Sarah Brady. Da 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 da.
I don't know if that's Sarah Brady.
She wasn't in the Brady Bunch?
No. I'm talking about the woman who was married to the
Civil War photographer.
Reagan spokesman who was shot during the assassination attempt on the president.
Oh, I know that. Nice, Jackie.
Well, she was out at some university giving a speech about the effect of the Brady Bill and how effective it is, and there were a bunch of people protesting. Will you guys stop it?
Love the Brady.
Who's busy with a hole in his head?
Oh.
Rolling around in a wheelchair.
But he passed the Brady Bill. The Brady Bill. The Brady Bill. And now we have the Brady Bill.
And his wife goes around talking about how effective it has been.
Right.
Meanwhile, you can't even make a movie about the Holocaust without creating some controversy. Remember a few months ago, after Schindler's List first came out,
yes,
there was an incident at some theater where some high school students started laughing during the movie.
Yeah, that wasn't high school students. That was Jackie and his family.
Look at those Jews!
And they got thrown out of the theater because of it.
Right.
So yesterday, Steven Spielberg went to the high school.
Well, he's like Super Jew now. Isn't he?
To talk to some of the students
Listen here,
and
Jews.
try to straighten out some of the problems that have been caused. Some bad feelings have been going around. So here's a little bit of Steven Spielberg speaking. Of course, a bunch of camera crews showed up. The governor showed up, and it became a big media circus. But Stephen did feel that it was effective, you know, and he felt good about coming to the school anyway.
Did he wear his baseball hat? You want to help the Jews? Help your first wife. Let her, what'd you leave her for?
He gave her a lot of money.
He did?
Yeah.
All right, then. I guess he helped her.
I think that everybody here at Castlemont High School should be very proud of the fact that a very small incident, which I think is a very minor, minuscule thing that happened, turned into a very good thing for everybody.
Yeah, you should be proud that you're ignorant.
Not every student felt that way. Here's one who was very upset that they were dragged off to see Steven Spielberg's film.
I object to him coming up here trying to tell me something about some Jews, but nobody don't come up here and try to help me learn about African people, which is my heritage.
Oh, the world is scary. There is a whole ignorant thing going on out there. You can't even touch that.
That's insane.
Where's them people going to teach me about my African?
How come nobody come up here?
Oh boy, we're lost. We are lost. Some other students, though, had something else to say.
They get the drugs. Well, I don't think people lie on it.
That's right. Well, everyone. Well, there you go.
I just like to tell you what kind of shape the world is in, Howard.
I object to him coming up here trying to tell me something about some Jews, but nobody don't come up here and try to help me learn
Nobody
about
don't come up here. Nobody don't.
High school.
Nobody don't come up here. She's right. Nobody don't come up there and teach her some grammar.
They're not teaching her anything.
Yeah, the Chinese were. There's no movie about the Great Wall. What can you do? Where my black history? You don't need black. You need to learn some regular history. Obviously, she was cutting speech class to go see the Schindler's List movie. She's right. She should be in school 24 hours a day, locked up in a cage. Handcuffed to the desk. Jesus. What do they call it? Generation X? It's Generation Zero. Generation X. We're all doomed. We're all doomed. I'm like Paul Revere riding through the streets with my stupid lantern. The British are stupid. The British are stupid.
Now, this should make you happy. Scientists at Johns Hopkins University have tested a compound in broccoli and found it protects rats against breast cancer.
Yeah, like I'm going to be feeling up a rat anytime soon. Humans, no effect. But the rats have beautiful breasts. So you're saying by eating broccoli, Robin, you can protect your breasts?
2 years ago, they found that the compound fights cancer in lab dishes.
I want to meet the scientists who figured out that rats even have breasts.
You look very nice now.
I'm going to take your breasts and give them cancer.
First, they cured it in lab dishes, and now we've gotten up to rats.
I heard broccoli will cure you of breast cancer, but it makes your tail grow. Very strong and healthy.
Women don't want anything to do with me, but you.
You're a good mouse.
The reasons aren't clear, but researchers think that the chemicals may break down the carcinogens.
Yeah.
Whether it will work in humans is unknown.
See girls on Long Island eating broccoli by the bushelful. Just living next to those telephone poles.
Teeth start to grow.
Start eating cheese.
Caught in traps.
I need broccoli. Protect my breasts.
Meanwhile, an exotic dancer known as Chesty Love.
We know Chesty Love.
I thought we did.
Sure.
She's won a case against the IRS. She wanted to deduct the expenses of maintaining her huge breasts.
She can afford broccoli?
And a judge has now
Well, how much
sided
broccoli
with her.
she eats. She had huge ones. She has triple F, you know.
Yes, 56 double F or triple F.
Triple F, Robin.
You're a big rat.
You need 5 heads of cabbage and lettuce a day with broccoli.
And the judge said, yes, she had this surgery for business to completely disfigure herself, but it certainly raised her income, and she can now deduct the cost of those giant implants.
George, I saw I think they shoved a whole head of broccoli in her breast. Those aren't implants.
She's safe.
Cabbage.
Sting is researching, they say, another Broadway role. He's looking into Carousel.
What's with him? You know, he can make $300,000 a night just showing up and doing his regular songs.
He sang one of the songs from the show the night we saw him at the Rainforest
I know.
concert.
My dad used to always sing
If
that.
I Loved You.
If If I loved you time and again, I would
Try to say.
If I want you to know. My father and my mother used to play that in the house over and over and over again. That's why I'm such a vomit.
Sting went to the New York Lincoln Center Theater to watch the program incognito in a hooded sweatshirt.
Who would recognize him in that?
And he also talked to the guy who now performs the number in the show. So, I don't know if he said, I'm bumping you out of your job.
You suck.
You're about to lose your gig.
But I guess he is looking into going back to Broadway.
If I loved you, I would love you. Do you know that's the end of the song? It goes like this.
How I love you. How I love you.
I love you. I would love you. It rhymes because it's the same word.
That song absolutely ends like it was time for the guy to go to lunch.
Yeah, like somebody forgot to write the end of the song.
Longing to tell you, but afraid and shy, I'd let my golden chances pass me by.
Oh, wow, good for you.
How should she know that?
Well, you're horny. Sounds like you've been carouseling to yourself in the house.
I love that song.
Yeah, you should. If I loved you, kitty, if I loved me.
I sing it to myself.
I have a picture in my living room.
You're saying, Robin would write and say, if I loved me, I'd have a picture in my living room?
Me, time and again I would try to say.
All right, Robin.
All I'd want me to know.
I want to hear you sing, but I got to get out of here, so.
If I loved me.
I think that means we're out of news.
Words wouldn't come in an easy way.
Let me do a few plugs.
The Rabbi Menachem Schneerson.
Is that your rabbi?
Yes. He's my Rebbe.
Rebbe.
Hello.
Who is also considered the Messiah, Howard. They say that he suffered another setback in the hospital. They don't tell me exactly what the setback is. But he's been in a coma for a long time.
Yeah, so is Fred. It hasn't stopped him.
He's still running his people.
Yeah.
They're arguing about where he should be. For a while, the doctors wanted the Hasidim to take him home.
On Broadway.
You know, because he is the head of the Lubavitcher.
I hope he gets to see Sting.
But the Rebbes and the other Hasidim, they just say we want him to stay in the hospital.
All right.
And so he's still there in a coma since suffering a massive stroke on March 10th, his second in 2 years. So I don't know how he's running things, but everything seems to be going well.
Hey, the Jews don't need much running. Pretty much have it under control, I suppose. All right. Way too obscure a reference.
Oh, yeah.
I wish I could explain that last
And
joke.
I have one final thing to say. Channel 2 anchorwoman Michelle Marsh and CBS's Rita Braver
Have been joined at the brain.
are among the women who will be named 1994 Outstanding Mothers
Absolutely. Because, after all, don't they read off a teleprompter and then go home to their kids all day?
by the National Mother's Day Committee.
What a joke. You want to
Why
know?
is it that real mothers, women who devote themselves to their children,
Like my
are
wife.
never recognized?
A woman who actually takes care of her children and have a nanny.
Oh, come on. If your wife had any more help, she'd never see her children.
No, all right. Maybe my wife's a bad example.
But a real mother, a mom who's in there pitching every day.
Yeah, like Penelope Chiasano.
Yeah. Why
Thank
don't
you.
they ever recognize her?
Believe me, Michelle Marsh probably has teleprompters in her house to tell her what to say to her kids. Now, don't do that. Hold it. It's broken. All right, let's get out of here, Robin. Come on, this is ridiculous.
I can't go on? No.
Well, if you want to.
No.
You really got something
Enough
burning.
already.
All right, very good, Robin. I want to compliment you on an excellent newscast. Mother of the Year over there.
Yes, I am a Mother of the Year.
If I love news.
I will read it all day long.
Dudes that your wife banged before she met you?
No.
Okay. Then, do you want to hear about the gay dude she banged who's like this really gay guy now?
No. But again, Ben knows what he's getting into when he walks into the Howard Stern show, and he rolls with things very well. The other thing he didn't want to talk about was Owen Wilson, and this is after talking about a bunch of different things in his personal life. But it seemed like Owen Wilson's attempted suicide was just hands off.
Well, they're really good friends. He probably doesn't want to talk about it, but he's like, I'm not going to talk about this, and he started to talk about it, and then it got really crowded in there, and he reeled back on it. But, you know,
I didn't think Howard was that out of line. He's sort of like, hey, you're directing a movie. You got just your life's work. It's a movie you worked on for 20 years. What do you do when a guy drops out?
Did you think that question was out of line, Benji?
No, not at all. And I didn't think. I thought Ben didn't handle it in a really good way. Like, I think he should. If he doesn't want to talk about it, it's okay. I would respect that. But it just he made it like it was this horrible thing that it made.
Well, the guy tried to kill himself.
No. That's horrible. But it's not crazy that Howard would say, like, how do you handle a situation like that?
Yeah, I think everybody's nervous when Howard brings up stuff like that. But I thought the question was a legitimate question. He probably said, hey, you know what, man? He's a great guy. We got somebody else for the movie. It was a tough time, and, we moved on.
Hey, it's Sal Governale, and on Tuesday's wrap-up show, we discuss one of my screw-ups in the Bob Levy spelling game. And then somehow the conversation went over to Robin and her talking too much. That was my opinion. That was constructive criticism. And after you see what I have to say, I think you're going to agree with me. So check it out.
Sal, I'm glad you came down here. I see your stuff in your face. I'll give you a second. But I know you apologize for the misspelling and you blame Google and Gary and Robin and everything else, but ultimately you took responsibility for your mistake.
No, in an argument where one's right and one's wrong and it's Sal and Google, I think one is Sal, who was trapped in a pizzeria as a kid.
Hostage.
Hostage. And the other one is a company that recruits Harvard and Yale kids. So I don't know, Sal. It's
I think
a bad
you summed
matchup.
up. I think you summed it up right there.
But Sal, you did
Artie.
the greatest prank ever, you and Richard. It was vintage, you guys, and then
thank
you
you,
fuck
Art.
up 10 minutes later. So explain the fuck up. We don't care about the prank.
Exactly. Why'd you blame Google?
Talk about your fuck
Because
up.
when Google didn't work, I went to Gary.
But did you take responsibility for it?
Yes, absolutely.
No.
I do take responsibility. And, I did it in a way where when I wasn't sure about the word, I Googled it. But the thing is, at the time, I never noticed the top. It says, did you mean so-and-so?
Right.
I just I'll type in cemetery, and then if I see, and I'll scan the page, and if I see that spelling, I assumed I got it right.
So it gave you all the hits on the other idiots that spelled it wrong.
That's exactly it, right. So I found on Google all the idiots just like me, and I fucked up.
Sal, when we were talking about it, though, a bigger issue came up, I think, which Gary alluded to, which is,
Sure.
I don't know, did you hear what he said? He said that you're telling Gary that he's your boss and
Right.
everything, and then away from Gary, you're like, you know what, I'm
Well,
doing just fine.
I said on the air that I screwed up, and then when Howard just kept pecking at me, I said, this is a time for a good old-fashioned Baba Booey moment.
But that's not what we're talking about.
Yeah,
we're
this is
talking
something
about
different.
off the
You're not
air.
listening.
People are telling me off the air that you're going around saying, I let Gary think he's the boss, but I know who's running
Oh,
the show.
no. I might have said it in front of the camera, but, Gary, that's definitely not true.
I wonder.
So who?
I wonder if you didn't go to
Thank
the,
you, Sal.
Gary.
I wonder if you didn't go to the Stuttering John School of Disrespect.
No. Gary, you know more than I. Like, even today, when we put a game together, I specifically break it down. I make sure that you know.
Sal, if you're going to go to a Stuttering John school,
I would never go to that school.
You should go to the Stuttering John School of getting an insanely great job without any skills school.
You should go to the Stuttering John School of I can't remember where I put my wallet.
You should go to the post Howard Stern job placement school because he's the fucking master of that.
Gary, do you believe that Sal respects you at your job?
I think for the most part he does, but I think Sal is one of those guys, who will say whatever needs to be said, where it needs to be said to make himself look good.
Well, I don't know about looking good.
He's a jerk off.
Right, yeah, there are. Yeah.
I was going for Two-Face.
Yeah, but
I'm a professional jerk.
I'm a jerk off too. So, Sal, just say you're being a jerk off when you fuck with Gary like that.
I agree. And you know what? It's funny. I wanted to bring something up about Stuttering John. In the beginning, I liked what Stuttering John did, but it came to a point where it wasn't funny anymore. It was just browbeating. It got a little.
Are you talking about me or anybody?
I'm talking about Stuttering John.
With anybody?
With you.
Oh.
But
look who's talking.
I know. No, but I think
the guy who built the wall of teeth in Times Square.
And I loved what John did and stuff to certain degrees, but I felt like it just wasn't funny anymore. It just was like it was mean spirited. And believe it or not, I'm trying to pull away from that. Today, it's been a while since I broke Gary's balls, but
when you have like Howard looking at you, I feel like a third grader in the principal's office.
It's rough getting yelled at by Howard because it's impossible to win an argument because he's a good arguer.
For straws, and
sometimes you just got to own up to it.
And I did. But I'm grasping for straws, and he's giving me that look. It's like the fucking, it's like the Wizard of Oz looking down at you with the flames coming up and everything,
Sal,
I'm shivering like the lion, and all of a sudden I'm just like, where do I go? Oh, okay, Baba Booey.
Sal, do you?
He's my saving grace.
Hold on,
deflection.
Do you understand why Howard was so embarrassed and upset?
Because I made him look like an ass. And you don't make Howard look like an ass on the show. I mean, I screwed up. The guy is running a show. He's doing the best he can. He can't stop and think, and cover everything. He's running a show. And then all of a sudden, it's one of those things he glanced over, and I made him look foolish.
Now, will you be insulted if you get an email tonight where Beth said you put a post-it on your computer and you should check Webster's dictionary?
No, I won't be.
But another reason he was mad, Sal,
but that was funny.
From a comedy point of view, was it ruined the bit.
Right.
It ruins the bit.
Sure.
If we can't spell, too, although Levy spelled existence, EXF, I think. But, so he looked really bad, but... we look stupid too, so the bid is destroyed.
Well, we're one big happy stupid family. I was stupid.
No, we're not.
And the first thing
we have stupid cousins.
And the first thing
Sal.
The first thing you said when you walked in there was, "I know I'm stupid. I know you just." Do you feel like Howard just wanted to go down that road?
Yes, I wanted to kind of like cover my tracks by saying what he would say, so he would get it out of the way.
How did you know? How did you know what he was going to say?
Well, after a while working here, you kind of get the impression of what's going to happen. You kind of get a feeling of what he's going to say, and I knew what he was going to say as soon as he saw that, or whatever the fuck it is, and he called Gary, and Gary said it was. I knew. I mean, my heart just sunk. And I said, here it comes. Here comes the beating. It's been a while. And I walked in. It's
actually been a few days.
And it was like going to Bogey Land, like from March of the Wooden Soldiers. And I walk in there, and then sure enough, he just...
Sal with a great Laurel and Hardy reference.
Yeah, I was a big Laurel and Hardy fan.
And you smacked Robin a couple times, too.
It is like going to Bogey Land, though. It's
like Buster Keaton and Seven Brides.
It's like Harold Lloyd hanging off the clock.
With Robin... Look, I like Robin. I'm not going to be one of those guys. I love Robin, but I like Robin, but she's got to know her place sometimes.
What is her place?
Well, yeah, what do you
know
mean
what I mean? Well, there's a pilot and there's a co-pilot.
Back of the bus, Sal? Is that what you're saying?
No. That's a long time ago.
But what is it? You mean, in other words,
Not
Howard's a
long
pilot?
enough, Sal.
Howard's a pilot. She's got to sort of pipe down.
In certain cases.
But like what? Like a case like where Howard's browbeating you?
Right. No, there's a time to speak. There's a time not to speak.
Are you saying Robin's interrupting a lot?
I'm surprised the bottom of Robin's sneakers are not on Howard's tongue. She steps on him so fucking much sometimes.
I agree.
She doesn't have track mark. I'm surprised she don't have track marks all over his fucking face from her Reeboks, because she sometimes just keeps interjecting. It's like, hey, you're going to fucking spew your garbage at 10 o'clock for 45 minutes. Get it all out then. Hold back a little bit.
You're calling the news garbage?
No, I'm just a figure of speech. Spew her stuff or whatever.
I feel like we're all like cannibalizing each other now. Like we're all like this.
Well, we're not.
Like we're all like, he's yelling Artie's talking too much. He's yelling Robin's talking too much. I feel like come on, we used to be a family. What happened?
I'm trying to.
This is family, Gary.
Do you mean we're all eating each other?
It's a dysfunctional family.
I know, but I feel like we're tearing each other down.
I know. Well,
but
listen,
even Artie agrees.
It is weird, Gary. Lately, there's been negativity on the Howard Stern show.
I can't believe. No, I mean, Robin.
So wait, you said at 10 o'clock Robin should do her thing. So from 6 till 10, do you think she should just sit there?
No,
knowing that she's got the last hour.
No, but she should know her place. Like she's
like the number 9 hitter.
To me lately. I mean, if I love Robin, I'll give her constructive criticism right now.
I thought you said.
All right, you want me to tell the truth?
No. You didn't.
I love Robin. This is not a diss. This is not negativity.
Let's hear what he has to say. What do you have to say?
Hold on.
I admire Robin. I look up to Robin. I pinch myself every day that I'm working with a great person on the Howard Stern show.
You look up to Robin because she's taller than you.
But if I may give her some constructive criticism, like she would for me, somebody you care about.
Okay. What is your constructive criticism?
Slow down on chiming in. Slow it down, Robin. Slow it the fuck down. When there's a guest on and Howard's mid-sentence in the question and she chimes in and she just demolishes that question with something from left field, sometimes it makes my hands crunch into a fist. Just take it easy on chiming in so much. Think about what you want to say. Think if it's that important to interrupt Howard Stern when you say it, and then take the approach, whether you're going to do it or not. She has a tendency sometimes to get real. She's become a pig on the mic. The micro, like a hog, hogging it up. Just take it easy. Don't be so piggish on the mic.
When did you start?
Slow it down.
When did you start feeling this way?
Jeez,
1982?
No, I would say, recently, about 7 months ago, somebody sent in an email, and Howard read it, that Robin is chiming in a lot. She's not chiming in, she's stepping on Howard a lot. And Howard read it, and I remember that week, she really piped down a lot. And you know what? She was brilliant, and I loved her, and I still love her. But she's got to know her role. You can't have too much of everything. You're going to turn people off. Slow it down, Robin. Just slow it down a little. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart in a kind manner. Just take it easy.
So let me ask you a question. The 28 years or 28 or 29 years of chemistry that Howard and Robin have together, you're saying that she's veering off from that?
I think she's really good at what she does, but I think she's becoming so confident that she's Robin Stern. You're Robin Quivers. You're the sidekick. You're the co-pilot. Wait for the pilot to make the move, and then listen to him and know your role. Know your place. You know what I mean?
Hi, this is Fred Norris of the Howard Stern Show. Guess what? On the wrap-up show for Wednesday, we had a very exciting talk about Jesse James, the outlaw bike builder. We spoke about what a great guy he was. We spoke about how he was willing to build Howard a custom-made chopper, which could run up to $100,000 in cost. We talked about, this is almost as long as the wrap-up show. Why don't you should watch it instead?
Our in-studio guest today was the one, the only Jesse James. And did you know a lot about Jesse James coming into this, Gary?
Knew nothing about him.
Really?
In fact, I mean, here's what I knew about him. That he used to be married to Janine, that he had something to do with motorcycles. I wasn't sure what. And that he's married to Sandra Bullock. But my first hint that he was more than just a guest came when our very own program director, Tim, came in and said that was his hero. He said he goes, "You're my hero." And I didn't understand exactly what he meant. And now as everyone called in, I realized, like, if you're into motorcycles, he's the guy.
Well, it's not only that, Gary. That's when Tim encountered you. You didn't see Tim jumping and running down the hallway to get to see Jesse James. I mean, he was just he had stars in his eyes.
Yeah, he said Tim told me he was nervous meeting Jesse James, and I was a bit of a dick. I felt really bad. He goes, "Jesse, I just got to tell you, you're my hero. You're unbelievable. I think the world of you." And I go, "That's so funny," because that's what he said to Arlen Specter last week. Because it's true. He likes Arlen Specter, too.
Now, does Jesse James come off as a badass at all?
No. I mean, I didn't know much about him, but he's got a really good vibe. He just seems like a good guy. He's like sort of, I read the notes on him, and I see he's been through some crazy shit, but, he doesn't look like he's going to kick your ass, except for all the tattoos going up and down both arms. But he seems like a sort of a gentle guy, and I don't know. I thought he came across as really nice.
And Tim wasn't the only one who was excited. Fred was happy about it, and I think Fred's going to drop by. But Robin was also very excited to meet Jesse James.
Is that the titties were out for him? Is that what the deal was?
That's the rumor that was going around. I don't know if there's any truth to that.
The truth is the titties were out. Whether for him or not, I don't know.
Right. That may not have been the reason. But had you seen him at all on Celebrity Apprentice?
No. In fact, I only heard a couple of clips. I heard one clip that JD had pulled for when Dennis Rodman was here, where Dennis Rodman went off on him. So, in fact, I thought I knew what he looked like, and I was completely wrong. I don't know why. I thought he was Ricky Rackman. You know what I mean? Like, that's the vision I had in my head. Jesse James, I don't know, all those West Coast guys that were married to porn stars. So I probably couldn't even pick him out of a lineup before today. But again, really nice guy.
I mean, he's a lot different on Celebrity Apprentice based on the way they put it together. And you got to hear, he spoke more here than he did in the entire season. And I thought he was pretty charming. Did you like him on the show today, Benji?
Yeah, I think he was very likable. It was funny. I like how pissed he got at Ralph, though. It was like he's such a nice, friendly guy, but like Ralph really got him. Like he looked like he was like ready to start punching someone.
Well, one, that's Ralph's expertise, as we all know, and two, you don't want to mess with this guy. And he talked about that a little bit. He doesn't want to put that out there because he's challenged a lot, because he's known to be a pretty tough customer.
Takes one swing at me, I'll have all that miscongeniality money.
And miscongeniality too.
Exactly.
Don't forget that. Now, before we get to Sandra, we got to talk about Janine. He didn't really talk a lot about their marriage, but you could tell it was a rough ride.
Yeah, he kept calling it his nuclear disaster, which is, you never want to have your relationship referred to that way. And I thought that the line really hit it on the head. Howard goes, "It must have been great. You're married to this porn star." And he goes, "Dude, everything isn't the way it looks when you see it, and that spoke volumes about it.
Yeah, if you missed it,
well, actually, I'm sorry. I don't know if you have the line.
Yeah, I think I have the line you're talking about. Here's I think this sums it up pretty much. Hit it, Ted.
Was it weird for you being married to a porn star for a while? Like, I mean, is it that like guys think that they can have their way with your wife, and
I think it she'd been retired for like 5 years,
right?
And so it wasn't really like on the tip of your tongue. It wasn't like she's a current huge star. It was like over in the past, and she was changing. But then, I think it's harder for her to be in that kind of spotlight.
Would you recommend that a guy marry a porn star, or do you think that they have too many problems that it's just too much of a thing to overcome?
Just buy the DVD.
Just buy the DVD. Yeah,
Don't even go there. Just buy the DVD.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's better to beat off.
That was a line.
Yeah, that pretty much sums that up. And were you surprised when you learned that he was married? Not today, but in the past, when he was married to Sandra Bullock? That kind of came out of nowhere, and that relationship seems to have stuck for a little while.
You mean surprised that they ever got? I mean, at the beginning, again, I'm as guilty as anybody. You don't know anything about people, and you just see them in the tabloids, and you see this guy that used to be married to Janine, who's some biker dude. You see him and Sandra Bullock together, and you go, oh, it must be Sandra Bullock's sort of fling, her wild fling. Certainly they can't really like each other, but I don't know anything about him, and it turns out that they really love each other.
Yeah, even he said she figured he'd be a bigot, he'd be this and that, and they ended up doing pretty well together. And Howard found out a lot about how they carve up their finances as well.
I think Howard probably got more out of him than he's probably done in any interview. And he even said at one point, he goes, when Howard asked about the sex, he goes, dude, I'm going to stop. I've already said enough.
Now, he also gave advice about how you have to listen to girlfriends and your wife, and he's talked about going gardening, and that's the greatest idea I've ever heard.
Right, but he said it in such a sarcastic way, as if you have to be really not sincere and go, honey, gardening's great.
And he let's go to.
They don't have kids together though, right? He's got his own kid with Janine, but him and Sandra don't have kids together.
I don't think so.
Yeah, so that it's easy to pretend to want to go gardening.
That's true. Paul in Philly, you're on the wrap-up show.
Hey, how you doing, guys?
Good, Paul. How are you?
Great. Listen, I just wanted to tell you, I thought Jesse was really good today. You could tell it's like two different guys. I watched a little bit of that Apprentice, and it's like very uncomfortable there. And in the studio, he just seemed like he was at home, with you guys.
Yeah, he said, I got to tell you, he told me in the green room, and he said it when he first walked in, too. He said he was extremely nervous about coming on. He'd done 60 Minutes on all these other shows, but to him, Howard was like a different level, and he was very nervous about coming on.
Yeah, it just seemed like, he really hit it off with you guys. He was really happy to be there,
Yeah, good guy. Good guy.
Do you think people can appreciate a guy like Jesse James because of what he does? I think initially you hear, oh, he makes bikes, and he's
he just makes bikes. You know what I mean? Like again, I don't know much about motorcycles, and this much what I'm about to say I learned from Fred. Fred will talk in a minute because he just showed up. But I didn't realize that to me a motorcycle is a motorcycle, and that there are guys who make motorcycles that's like a piece of art if you're into motorcycles.
It really is. I mean, it's one of the few things that you can buy. I mean, when he was talking, he said the most expensive motorcycle that he made was $300,000. When you think about a handcrafted, personalized motor vehicle for you, that's a bargain. I mean, if you can afford $300,000.
That was the other great part of the show this morning was when he offered Howard a bike, to make Howard a bike, and Howard said, first of all, listen, I could buy my own bike.
There are
Tim came to my office and started jumping up and down again and going, I can't believe he's not going to take the bike. Why won't he take the bike? He's got to take the bike.
Tim was very excited out there.
What he should do is he should get a Howard wig and go up to him and say, I was just kidding out there. I mean, I really want the bike. Now send it to Tim's address.
Now, Fred, you're an expert in this field.
I don't know about an expert, but
you're knowledgeable.
Knowledgeable.
How good is Jesse James at what he does?
He's definitely one of the top 5 bike builders that there are around. I mean, somebody brought up Indian Larry today. Rest in peace. He was one of the greats too. And there are guys that are like that. And I really think it's like the last frontier in terms of like customized cars and bikes and things like that. People don't customize cars that much anymore because I think they all look the same and they all look like jelly beans. But at least with a motorcycle, it's like the last frontier. It's kind of like being a cowboy.
Now, that Orange County Choppers, are those guys just an interesting show, or are they really good motorcycle makers?
You know what? The jury's out on them. The real aficionados of bike building, they poo-poo them. And I'm one of the few people that doesn't, because I think anybody that brings bikes into the collective consciousness of the United States and makes them more acceptable and makes them appealing to the masses. That was one of the things that Jesse was talking about this morning. When you're riding in traffic, people have no respect for motorcyclists. I mean, they barely have enough respect for other cars.
Well, I think
but when you're on a motorcycle, you're very vulnerable.
I don't know why this pisses me off. I'm always very respectful. Like a motorcycle guy, if he's in front of me, I like to be very far behind because I always think if he falls, I don't want to run him over.
Right.
The thing that always pisses me off about a motorcycle guy is when he goes between cars.
Something, I agree with that. And I think in New York State, I mean, there's certain places in the country where I think that's legal. I don't think in New York State that is legal, and I agree. I think it's a dangerous practice, and I think people should not do that because it freaks people out.
Well, also,
when they're in their cars.
A motorcycle guy, like on the highway, they always show up in your blind spot when they do that.
Well, that again, it's like that comes down to bad motorcycle riding. I mean, I used to ride a lot when I was like 14, 15, 16 years old. I rode a motorcycle before I ever drove a car, and I got a motorcycle again about maybe 10 years ago. I hadn't ridden in years. Maintained my license, hadn't ridden in years, and I, when I decided I was going to go back, I signed up for a motorcycle safety course, took a series of lessons, read a lot of books, and that's one of the reasons I feel fairly confident when I'm riding on the road, because they'll teach you where not to ride in the blind spot, what not to do, the stupid things that you can do to get yourselves in the trauma unit.
All this talk about safety, so that brings me to a question. You've known Howard longer than me. Mm-hmm. Is in your time with the show, was there ever any chance that Howard's getting on a motorcycle?
Not unless Bianca and Beth were like being held for ransom or something. There's no way that he would do it.
On Thursday's wrap-up show, Sal came by, and I don't know how it came up, but we got started talking about Robin again. And Sal at first was trying to explain himself, but then he broke down a little bit, and it led to a lot of good conversation, a lot of controversy, and Robin eventually coming in here to confront him on what's going on in Sal's mind. And I've been trying to figure that out for 3.5 years. But it was a good show, and watch for yourself.
Why are you so glum?
I'm not glum. Just
You
waiting
see-
for my beating.
You seem glum.
I'm on standby.
Why do you say that every time? I'm waiting for my beating.
Because whenever I express myself on this godforsaken shithole, I get ripped apart the next day.
No.
I do. And you know what? I'm going to. Maybe this is a good
What are
thing.
we talking about here?
I'm gonna censor
Are we talking about the game, or are we talking about how
Whenever
you
we're
verbally attacked Robin?
which godforsaken shithole
listen,
are you referring to?
Okay, I know I attacked Robin. I didn't view it as an attack. I knew I attacked Robin. I didn't view it as an attack. It came off as an attack.
Well, how would you view it? In other words,
You
just said, I know I
without
attacked.
being redundant, it was constructive criticism that she took personally. And I know a lot of people feel that way, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I offended Robin. That wasn't my intent. But, if somebody else gave criticism, it wouldn't be as bad. I always have to be the guy that stepped on in
See,
the
that's
end.
not true.
That's wrong.
That's just not true.
No, it is. It's true.
It is.
Because
Don't
I'm
pay-
the only one. I'm the only one that gave Robin good advice, as far as I'm concerned.
No, you're the only one that gave her
and
that advice, and you think it's good advice, and that's you can think that. But you don't.
You're not better than me, Gary, to tell me.
I'm not saying I'm better than you. I'm saying you don't have the ability to recognize that you took a solid 10 minutes on the wrap-up show to talk about how Robin is literally single-handedly fucking up the show, and it's your opinion that she's fucking up the show, and we don't say a word, and we let you say whatever you want, and you don't have the ability to think that she might be offended by that.
Well, you interpret it as me saying she fucked up the show. I said I would prefer if she just slowed down a little bit. And that's what I really said.
Slow down. Know your place. Slow the fuck down.
And that's it. And then it just turns to this whole... So, you know what? I'm not going to express my opinions anymore on you guys. Because when I do, everybody gets into a tizzy. Everybody gets all upset. It's not worth it.
Actually, you probably get called on the carpet about 1 out of every 10 times you express your opinion, because you express your opinion a lot. But but seriously, when you were talking, did it not hit you in the head that Robin might not appreciate that? Were you surprised when Robin grabbed you in the hallway?
I lost a little sleep the night before.
Did she just?
It started hitting me like, oh boy, I wonder how she's going to interpret this. I hope I didn't. I felt bad about it. I thought it was a
But
little.
why would you feel bad? It's just
I
an
was
opinion.
a little harsh,
but it's an
because-
opinion.
but
It wasn't
this-
an attack.
It was tough love.
Right, like when you said that Howard's tongue had Robin's feet mark on it, like was that?
It's got a Reebok mark.
Well,
Right,
that-
Reebok mark.
Sometimes you have to paint the picture to get your point across, and I felt at that moment that was the case. And I have no ill will towards Robin. She told me to fuck off. God bless her. Whatever
Sal,
she wants.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but what happened? She just grabbed you in the kitchen and said, fuck off?
She was in the kitchen.
Or did you say something to her first? Like, did you say, hey, I love you? Or
no,
how's
I didn't
it going?
say, hey, I love you.
Hey, Robin, listen, about that you suck thing.
I said something like, hello, Rob. She's like, should I say hello back, or would I be talking too much? And
you go, really? What do you mean?
And I said, really? What do you mean? I really did. And
Just in
she's
case.
like, and she goes, Sal. I'm like, Robin, you know, as soon as I said that, and I do, and I said it on the show too. She goes, love you, schmuff. You don't start with that bullshit. You know, just because you have, and she really laced into me. She's like, just because you have problems at home and and you have the ability to stand up to your wife and you have issues with women, you think you could take it out on me? That I'm like, no, it's not. That's not the case at all. I go, Robin, that's not the case. I go, I just want to let you know that in certain circumstances, I think you chime. And she's like, fuck off. And she turned around with her cup of celery juice that's going to go up her ass in the next 5 minutes. And I said, Robin, I go, let me. She goes, take another step. I'm throwing this in your face. And I'm like, whoa, you know. And that was it. And
you know what the greatest part is?
I feel, the thing is, I really feel bad. I don't like to have tension between people, especially your coworkers and your friends. I feel bad about it, but it bothers me. Like, I don't know, like I expressed how I felt, but it's not worth it.
I don't think you expressed it in a way that somebody would like. You thought it was constructive, but it really did come across as a bit of an attack. And my favorite part, by the way, is how you made a point of telling us that day, I'm not going to be one of those fucking assholes that says, I love you, Robin, but. And all you've ever said, sort of every sentence, including when you saw her in there, was, I love you.
Yeah, that's true. But I said that I'm not going to be an asshole that says, I love you, but, because I really do love her. Like, I'm not going to be a liar. That's what I meant. Like, after, you know, on the show
I'll take 500 shares of logistics, please.
You need a decipher from, like, the Da Vinci Code to figure out what Sal means when he says shit.
When you get caught in a conversation with Sal, I do understand why he was so successful at selling stock. Because he really tells you. Like, sometimes I would walk out of there confused.
Well, that's because he says 3 different opinions that often contradict each other in one statement.
I said what I meant.
What?
And
Robin walks all over Howard?
That I care about Robin, but I felt lately she's been chiming in too much, and I meant that. I expressed it maybe in a harsh way that she took offense to it, and I'm sorry that she took offense.
Can I just say,
I don't like the tension. I do like Robin, and I think she's great at what she
assuming your
does.
criticism comes from a sincere place, did it ever occur to you that maybe a 25-year broadcasting veteran didn't want to hear the opinion of a stockbroker?
More like a
35-year listener.
More like a 30-year veteran. Robin's been on there for like 30 years.
A wise man learns from a fool. A fool learns from no one. What? It's exactly what I said. If you guys can interpret that.
A wise man learns from a fool, and a fool learns from no one.
So that means there's always something you can learn, whether God...
No, what it means is a fool has the inability to learn nothing, but a wise man should listen to the fool.
Yeah, you can learn from a fool's mistakes. You can learn from a fool and a fool's actions. But there's always advice to be given.
So who are you in this scenario? Who are you?
Unfortunately, I'm the fool because Robin has the experience, so I'm putting Robin on the pedestal here. But she can learn. So you can always learn something.
But I'm just saying it was unsolicited.
Hey,
like if she had come to you with a friend
Richard Roper
and said,
have the right to tell somebody how to direct a film? No, but he could critique it. Yet he has no experience in that field.
By your
I have experience.
You're not,
at least a little bit, not as much as Robin.
Technically, you're not here to critique. Richard's
I'm not,
hired to critique. That's
and that
a big
goes
difference.
back to my first statement. I'm done giving my opinion and critiquing.
Oh, put the $1,000 on the table right now. There's no way you're done.
As much as it pains me, I'm done.
You're not done.
Honesty is dead.
And you're the fool, and you've learned nothing based on your analogy?
No, a wise man learns from a fool. A fool learns from no one.
So who have you learned from?
I've learned to keep my mouth shut. I've learned from this fool myself, I guess.
Jack in Long Island, you're on the wrap-up show.
Yeah,
I think that's an Aesop fable or something. Look it up. It's on Google.
Yeah, hi. I'd like to talk to Sal about what's going on with him.
Oh, this is Ronnie Munt.
Who?
I could tell. I could smell the Metamucil coming off your skin.
Yeah, well, hey, dude.
Yeah, I can smell.
You know what,
it.
dude? You do this every time.
Take that diaper you have around your ass and wrap it around your mouth.
You do this every time. You cause trouble for yourself.
I do.
And then you cry like a baby.
I'm not crying one bit. I'm just learning my lesson.
Now you did it with Robin. Then
I didn't do anything with Robin.
Like a little baby.
Ronnie, I'm not being a baby here. I'm learning, Ronnie, that I shouldn't express myself because you get in trouble.
Baby, man, you don't quit.
Baby, just the
Go
opposite
lock
of a
yourself-
very, very old person.
Go lock yourself
Oh, is this
in your
Jack?
room. Like I told you a
I'm
long
sorry,
time
Jack.
ago. Go lock yourself in a room there.
Ronnie, I'm sorry, Ronnie, that you have to ride my coattails for attention, but your point
I am not riding
your
your
point is
coattails
just
for attention.
worthless. It's just
No,
stupid.
my point is so right.
No, it's not
Because
right.
you do this
I
every
expressed
time.
myself about Robin. Robin got upset. I'm upset that she's upset. It's not worth it.
Who are you to express yourself about Robin?
And who are you to tell me what I should and should not do?
Because you're hired here to be a writer.
And you're hired to be a Howard's driver, so shut the fuck up and drive.
I do.
What are you
man.
doing calling in on a show?
I'm waiting for him. I'm
All right,
busy.
all right,
so wait.
whoa. Settle down, everybody. Now-
Jesus Christ, this guy.
Hold on,
Stupid
Sal. Wait a
asshole.
second.
You're a stupid asshole.
Now, Jack, doesn't Sal have the right to express his opinion?
No, not. Why should he? Who is he?
I mean,
Nobody.
if he's asked a question, he's simply answering it.
Nobody asked him to make it give opinion on Robin, whether she should talk more or talk less. Who is he? He's nobody.
Robin's
All right,
here.
Hold off on the break. Robin's here.
Rob, Benji, can you give it? Come right here, Robin. So,
I'm in the hall and people just keep telling me stuff about Sal saying various things. Why is this still going on?
Well,
Didn't you have your say? I
said
heard
I felt bad.
No, he's not. He hasn't been degrading you. What he's saying
No,
is,
but he
doesn't.
said he was delivering a communication. I got it.
He doesn't. We were asking him how he could go off for 20 minutes and give his opinion. I put in quotation marks, and I said, "Did you not think that it might come back to bite you?" And he goes, "No, not really. I really."
Well, when somebody said Sal didn't understand, I said he could stop there. He doesn't have to put anything after that sentence. Sal doesn't understand anything.
That's true.
Just say that. I don't understand.
I don't understand.
I would egg you on, Robin, but right before you walked in, Sal's like pretty much on suicide watch right now.
No, I'm not. Ronnie told me that Sal said he's losing sleep. I said, you shouldn't tell me that.
Yeah, because we feel bad.
So, Robin, did you take Sal's advice to heart?
Oh, shut up, John.
Do you really think I would take
Never.
Sal's advice for anything?
No. But clearly, I mean, you yelled at him in the kitchen, so something must have bugged you one way or the other.
Sal isn't attacking me. Sal is attacking all women when he talks
That's
to me.
what she said in the
And
email.
that's what I don't mind an attack on me. Like I said, when he said Artie did something wrong, it was Artie did something wrong. When he says, something to me, it's like, know your place. Well, where would my place be?
This week in Arizona.
Howard's at the window. He sees Robin talking to Sal, and he's got this quizzical look on his face like, should I go in there? And then he just left.
He's like, so what would your advice to Sal be?
I don't have any advice for Sal, because if I try to give Sal advice, because quite frankly, when I was talking to him on the air, I was trying to explain to him what a Google search is, which I don't think he understands. And I got, know your place. Shut up. Stop piping up over there. So I can't give Sal advice.
Robin brings up a good point. Like when you fight with Artie, why don't you tell Artie to know his place?
Because Artie threw a CD at my eyeball.
Are you still angry at him, Robin?
I'm not angry at
She's
all.
not
I didn't even
angry at
know
me.
this was going on. And people are telling me. I said, but the worst thing to tell me is that I made you lose sleep, because I'll keep you up the rest of your life.
A kind of cool show happening today. Jimmy Kimmel, who I saw this weekend, by the way, we were hanging out.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, Jimmy and his cousin Sal.
He's dating his cousin Sal.
Yeah.
No, Sarah.
Well, I did have some alone time with Jimmy.
Yeah.
And I got to ask him about, Sarah Silverman.
Did he open up?
He opened up, but, when a guy opens up to you in private, this is the problem with me associating with people outside of the show. They kind of give you the they preface their statements by saying, "Look, this is some stuff I'm going to talk to you about."
It's embargoed.
And all I'll tell you about that, I'm embargoed. But I'll ask him about it on the air, and we'll see how clean he comes. But
yeah, but you know what? Do you really care more about Jimmy than the show? Fuck him over. Really?
Well,
let's do it.
That's
anyway,
right.
I am a man of my
Are you ever
word.
going to get better information out of him?
Yeah. But I got to tell you something. This is how bad I am with people. This is another story of just how bad I am. Jimmy began to open up to me about him and Sarah and, what was going on.
And was really open, huh?
And afterwards, like Beth said to me, well, what did Jimmy say? I said, I don't know.
You had no idea? You didn't even listen? You blanked out?
I think I listened, but I didn't understand what he was saying. It didn't make any sense to me.
I think the only reason you listen to me in those situations is because you're so fascinated how fucked up I am. Heroin is like something.
He's really fascinated about interpersonal relationships.
Yeah, but I think maybe it's boring to him now.
I listen to you because we're on the air together.
That's right.
I can.
So in a year
hear
and a
you
half,
on the
I should
air.
stop calling
If Jimmy talked to me on the air, I would understand everything.
Right.
I mean, you'd question him. You don't even ask questions.
No, I meant even personally.
I did, Robin.
Even when I call you, you listen.
Yeah. But I even said to Jimmy, I said, I don't understand what you say. In other words, okay, you guys broke up and you're explaining it, but
you don't get it.
I still don't know. I don't even know that you really told me anything here. I don't understand. And then he started again to tell me stuff. And maybe he was just being guarded or whatever. But
I have I've had that experience where people are saying a lot of words, but I don't understand anything they're saying.
Yeah, I mean, I'm telling you.
They're usually foreign people.
I swear to you, I am as in the dark
as before.
And the only thing I know is
dear.
what Jimmy has said publicly, that she broke up with him.
So basically, you are saying everything you know on the show, so that's good.
Yeah, I am. I mean, I could tell you everything he said, but it doesn't make any sense. So, you know what? He'll come in here, and whatever he's comfortable talking about, we'll
He probably
go
isn't
to.
comfortable talking about any of it.
Probably not.
On the air.
No.
All right, Jimmy Kimmel's here, man. Old friend of the show. We got a lot of old friends here. We don't have no new friends. We got only old friends. What the fuck?
Kind of like you.
Yeah, exactly. Fuck you. Come on in.
Jimmy.
Hey, what's
Morning.
happening?
How you doing, man?
Good, thanks. I thought you were going to come to my hotel room and wake me up
I
there.
wish.
At this thing.
So what brings you down to the show today?
What do you think brings me down in the show?
What are you talking about?
Oh, I have a lot of important things to talk about on the show. Gary's penis.
What you're talking about right now?
Yeah. No, I had a similar thing done to my penis, so I feel like I can add a lot to the
You're going
conversation.
to share your experience with us
Yes,
today about that?
I'll help make men in their cars crouch over throughout the morning today.
All right, Jimmy Kimmel's here. Bring in Jimmy.
Jimmy, you gained weight.
No, that's Artie. There's Jimmy. Jimmy's actually lost weight.
Look at Jimmy.
Jimmy's thinner. Good to see you, dude. Artie's thinner, too. Hey, James.
Hello, Howard. I
Host
can't hear
of-
anything in my headphones, but my cans.
Host of Jimmy Kimmel Live.
Don't act like you haven't seen Howard. We heard you spent the weekend together.
Yeah, we made love.
I thought that was going to be our secret.
No, that wasn't a secret.
Oh.
It's just, you know what it is?
What?
When I hang out with Jimmy, I feel kind of like I disappoint him.
What?
Why?
Because when I'm not on the radio, I'm not a whole lot of fun, and I'm actually kind of quiet and not all that witty. And I think Jimmy kind of worships
Are
me a
you
little
fishing for compliments?
No. Jimmy, I'm being serious. Jimmy,
welcome to the show, Jim.
Jimmy looks up to me.
It's true. That is true.
And so you expect that he expects something.
Like I had
more.
Jimmy's stories, like when he was in high school, he listened to me, or someone sent him a tape, and he wanted to go into radio. I don't know what the whole thing is, but then like when
Is this your way of saying you want Fred to play music and for me to go on?
No, it's him saying he wants Ralph to play
but
music.
it's always awkward because I know, probably Jimmy's expecting this great guy to hang out with him, and I'm I'm really not a lot of fun, as Beth will tell you.
I disagree. We did have a lot of fun, and I have a lot of fun. I'm not. What do you think I'm expecting? I'm not expecting Robin Williams bouncing off the wall.
That would be annoying.
But I know, you like to sit and like Jimmy came out to see me, so it was like, then I feel obligated that we should be together.
Yeah, well, that is one of the things when you go visit
when
somebody.
you visit someone, they actually are supposed to be with you.
You should do the Great Gatsby. You should just never show up.
Well, after Jimmy left, I said to Beth, I said, Jimmy's a great guy. Everyone knows I love Jimmy. I think Jimmy's a really together great guy.
Together?
Yeah, he's got it
pretty
together.
Robin.
Yeah, he is pretty together.
Robin, you're sitting on a pot of coffee. How dare you judge?
Well, nobody said I was together.
I really like Jimmy. No one could be an easier house guest. I even like his cousin Sal.
He's an easy house guest?
I am.
Sal, yeah, because Sal is like that wall. He doesn't say anything. He says
like a potted plant.
He was nervous. He's not usually like that.
But I said,
you give Sal a sports sticker. He's fine for
I said to Beth afterwards. I said, Jimmy coming out to the house makes me realize I don't think I want people coming out to the house. So she goes,
good, thanks, Jim.
This is positive. She said, why? She goes, no one could be easier than Jimmy. Like, Jimmy's so great. I said, that's right. And the fact of the matter is...
Everybody else is a pain in the butt?
No. I said, even I can't handle that because I feel... I couldn't even sleep when Jimmy was over because it was like... I'm like, oh, my God, Jimmy's probably awake, and he wants to
Let
get
me go down and see what he's doing.
So I'm up at 5 in the morning checking to see if Jimmy's
up. Who's up at 5 in the morning looking to get together with their...
I'm neurotic. I can't have people
He doesn't want Jimmy to be walking around while he's sleeping.
You know what you got to do, Jim, is you got to just... Howard knew I'd be asleep till 3 p.m.
Well, and then at 9 a.m., I was going to have a chess lesson. I felt guilty. I said to Beth, is it okay that I'm having a chess lesson? Because what if, it was for an hour. So I was like... She goes, well, I guess so, but Jimmy's your guest, and he's here. And I go, but I want my chess lesson, too. You mean Jimmy can't hang out with his cousin and do stuff?
No, I'm fine. I don't like to get up early anyway. But in fact, I actually intentionally, I got up what I thought was early. I got up at I made sure to get up at 9:30, so around when your chess lesson was over, then, we could
hang out.
Yeah, we
You should have combined the two and had Jimmy give you a chess lesson.
Yeah.
Why don't you just say to your guests, you know what, I got a chess lesson at 9 or whatever, and do whatever you want, and I'll see you in the afternoon or something.
I'm just not good. I feel guilty.
Everything is very well scheduled.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're very well scheduled.
You know what's happening when you go there. It's almost on a list.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad Jimmy went. Now I have someone I can call to ask how the house looks.
When you straighten yourself out, you might get up.
Well, yeah, they don't want, crazy drug people knocking at the door.
What, me and 3 cops aren't fun to have over your house?
But, so I always feel like...
You don't want Artie making an escape.
And then the other weird aspect is, I'm hanging out with Jimmy, and where Jimmy and I were having a private conversation. And I even said to Beth, I'm going to ask Jimmy about Sarah. Did you hear my rap about this morning?
No, I couldn't get my serious.
Dude, you and fucking Sarah went through weird shit. Howard told us on the air. What the fuck, man?
I would never do
Thank
that.
God you got out of there.
With a midget? A midget?
It wasn't a midget. He was just short.
No, I said, Jimmy and I were talking. And I even said to Robin this morning, I said, I sat with Jimmy. We talked for a half hour, an hour privately about a bunch of things. But one of the things being what happened with Jimmy and Sarah. I need an explanation because I was close with Jimmy and Sarah as a couple. And I said to Robin, I have no idea what Jimmy's talking about.
He says, first of all, of course, it was not for the air, but in the same, he said he went to Beth and he couldn't tell her what you said.
Because immediately, after we had the conversation, Beth wanted to come down, but she saw we were talking privately.
Oh.
She said to me, okay, so what did Jimmy say about Sarah?
Right.
I said, I don't know. I don't know what the fuck he said.
For Howard to listen to you, you have to work Howard into the conversation.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't know what I said either. I mean, I don't know.
It was the lamest, most mysterious.
He said he's not sure you know why you broke.
When a chick asks me what their day, if I want to hear what their day was like, I'm like, only if I'm in it.
Yeah.
I wish it could have been more interesting, but
no, it wasn't that it wasn't interesting. I just didn't understand.
He said you were saying things, but he couldn't understand what you were saying.
I don't understand what I'm saying most of the time either. So.
But maybe it wasn't not that interesting. Maybe it wasn't interesting.
And then also it's awkward because Jimmy says to me, "Look, this is private." So I said, "Okay, well, so what does that mean?" I
can't call the Inquirer?
Here's the problem is that I know you would like me to to talk to you about these things mostly because you're curious about this stuff. But I know that
Mostly because he's a yenta.
it's hard for you to remember what is okay to talk about and what isn't okay to talk about. So
Right.
for your own protection, I feel like
That was smart.
Maybe you didn't tell him anything.
Well,
I didn't. I'm telling you.
I know I did. I told you
You did?
everything. I mean, I told you everything that was there. It's not that interesting. You know,
It's
sometimes
not. It was
people just
horribly
don't.
boring.
Something happens. I
Horribly
don't know what it
boring.
is.
It was terrible, actually.
It's unpleasant, you
There
know.
was no
but
good stories. I was.
there were
Nobody
no
had
events.
any great problems, like,
Was
they're
the sex
harboring.
good? The sex was good, right?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
I mean, for
you,
for me, yeah, it was. Yeah.
The sex was good.
You haven't checked with her?
I'm pretty. I think I could safely assume it wasn't that great for her.
But the public thing was.
Can I taste your juice?
The public thing was that she broke up with you, supposedly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Both times?
No, actually, I broke up the first time. She broke up the second time.
Ah, see, that's
Yeah.
something I didn't know.
Yeah.
No,
Who's going to break up the third time?
I don't think they're getting back together.
Is it over? Howard
we
said
have
he
the
could
rubber
get
match.
you. Howard said he could get
So,
you two back together
I can't.
if you just gave him a little time. Now you think you can't.
Well, he can't even listen to Jimmy talk about the
He
problem.
couldn't stay in the
No,
room.
I listened. I didn't understand it. I
You
didn't
know what?
want to
You
keep.
should interrogate her. That should be what you do because maybe you'll get more. Because
But alone, like in a situation like that.
I'm not the kind of person that looks for reasons afterwards. It's if you don't like me, I don't like you, and that's
Well,
that.
then why did you break up with her?
Oh, I don't even know. I just felt just depressed and just felt like that was something that I felt like that was the reason why I was depressed, and then I became even more depressed
After you broke up.
after we broke up.
Right.
Yes,
You heard the music.
I know. What's the music? You know, Fred, you kill it with the music.
He does. He does.
I could have. I was almost on the hook.
Yeah,
I almost started crying.
Wait, I missed it. What did you say?
I asked, so he broke up with Sarah the first time.
Yeah, you see, you're getting more out of him than I did.
You needed me
I told
there.
you that.
I know. I did.
Well, now that Howard's listening because it's on the air.
No, I listened. I really did listen.
And he
I
said-
could tell you,
Bullshit.
I could tell you everything he said
Wait a
because he
minute.
didn't say anything.
I'm
Yeah.
going to tell you what he just said.
Yeah.
So he was suffering a depression.
Right.
He decided it was the relationship that was depressing him.
He didn't tell me that.
He broke up, and then he got more depressed.
Do you
so
understand-
that's
You
why
missed
he,
it.
More or
You
less.
missed it.
Yeah.
More or less.
Do you understand how bad that sounds? Like men want to have the perfect woman, and in a sense, Sarah is beautiful, and she's funny,
Talented,
she's smart,
funny. Oh, my
great
God.
conversationalist, and we still get bored. This is what happens.
It's not even bored, really. But you're right, though. Yeah, it is. It's troubling because you think, oh, if I can't stay in a relationship with this person for a long time,
Right, that's-
Then
there
I
isn't
can't do
anyone.
it,
Yeah,
right.
And that's what starts to depress you.
yeah,
You know?
exactly. And it's starting again right now.
Is it that you think the two of you are just not in love with each other anymore? Like the love left?
Well, they were
Yeah.
in love at your
Yeah.
wedding.
You guys were all over each other at the wedding.
Holy
Yeah.
Christ, I had to make out with my shitty food.
I mean, you really were. And
But-
it was so
yeah.
I guess at some point the two of you just realized, like, yeah, we like each other, but we're not in love with each other.
I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. She decided that.
Oh, she decided.
That was funny
You're
at the
in love-
wedding.
You're in love with her.
No, I'm not. I told
You
you.
were.
Yes, but when it's over for me,
It's over. You closed
Yeah.
the door.
I close the door.
Right.
Right. So
But
because I
you
put my
opened the
penis
door-
through the keyhole.
Yeah, but you opened the door.
If he opens the door, he'll be in love again.
You closed the door. You closed the door, but you opened the door again.
Let's put it this way: when the door's closed on me, the door is closed.
Right.
Yeah, but
When I
Jim,
close the door.
Jim, for every door that closes, one opens.
You're right. You're right.
And the one you better
So
open
are
is
you,
the
are
heroin
you
door.
on a tear now?
Oh yeah, I'm on a real tear.
He's fucking all of Hollywood.
He's having sex with cousin Sal.
Let me tell you what I did last night. Here's
He's
what
having
my tear.
homosexual incest.
I went to dinner with my friends Alex and Martha Wallow, who listen to the show,
Right.
and had a huge steak, and then almost was pretending to make conversation outside the restaurant where I was almost certain I was going to shit my pants. And then I got in the cab and desperately tried not to shit my pants, and then thought it might be funnier for the show tomorrow if I did shit my pants.
Who cares about shitting in a cab? You've never done that?
You mean you had a big steak?
Yes,
And it made
immediately
you-
it became
went through you.
an angry ball of shit. that
Jim,
wanted
you're
to
not a
come
New
out.
Yorker. Sometimes you shit in a cab just to make it smell better.
And did you want to and then you wanted to take a shit. And why didn't you do it at the restaurant? Or are you too embarrassed?
Oh no, not at the restaurant. Plus, everyone knows I come out sweating. I have to take off most of my clothes. So then I get upstairs, and I know this is going to happen because there's a nightmare happening. Is that my cousin Sal has the key to the room in his pocket, and there's no way he's just flipping the door open and letting me run right through.
Did you tell Sal you had a shit?
Oh, I told him I had to shit, and I realized that was a terrible mistake.
Wait a minute. You don't have your own room? You and Sal are in the same room?
Yes.
What the fuck are you talking about?
This is getting worse.
Sal's on the show. They didn't get him.
Well, they didn't,
They didn't fly him here.
They tell you can bring somebody out with you,
Shit, that is fucked. What are you doing?
Well, the truth is I brought two people. I brought Jill Lederman, our producer, so she had a room, and then Sal and I stayed. We don't mind. We like staying in the same room.
Holy mackerel.
You really aren't in show business.
I guess not.
Really?
They used to get everybody at Mad TV their own room.
I'm not on Mad TV.
Yeah, well, actually, Nightline, they've got 4 people in a room there.
Martin Bashir has like 17 people living in a room with him.
Hey, would you? So did he get the key open in time and you took your shit?
He did, but there was some torment time where he held the key up and showed it to me and waved it to me, and I was like, "Open that fucking door! Will you open that fucking door?"
Or you're fired.
We're gonna shit all over you.
Don't make me shit in Jim Belushi's room again.
That's right.
Would you have Sarah on as a guest on your show?
Not right now. I don't think. Eventually, maybe.
Wow.
Yeah. Really? Is that interesting?
Yeah, that is interesting. Not good enough.
We're just really booked
what are you
up.
talking about? Not good
No,
enough.
it's not good
because
enough.
she's doing every other show. She's busy.
There's no openings at your show?
You know what? We've got a lot of bookings right now. And no, I don't know. I just think it might be
awkward, but it'd be fun.
Might be more unpleasant than it would be worse.
Sarah, there's a very funny stripper I met who's doing a set.
Why would it be unpleasant?
Well, why do you think?
Because but she was, listen, when you were going out with her, she was on the show like every week.
Well, not that much.
I mean, a lot.
She was like your brother Theodore.
And now all of a sudden there's no presence of her like she was doing the.
Well,
I'm
it's not like
fucking
people
Matt
like,
Damon.
where is she? I mean, she was on maybe twice a year. I mean, it wasn't like
Is that true?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought it was more.
But she was on in the time that you two got back together.
Yes, she was.
Listen, I've been on 5 times, and twice when I was on, Sarah
was on.
Jimmy's going to hang out with us all morning. He's going to be here for a while. Ben Stiller is waiting in our green room.
Oh, he is?
Yeah, so what we'll do...
What he's saying is a bigger star has now...
No, Jimmy's hanging out being part of the show. He'll be here during the Ben Stiller
You
interview.
can sit there while Ben is...
If Ben Stiller's sitting here and Adam Sandler comes in, we'll have Sandler.
That's Jimmy's cousin, Sal.
Oh, this is the guy you spent the weekend with?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
He's a nice guy. I was a little worried about him, but he's a nice guy.
Sounds very quiet. Yeah.
He's another Tom Cruise lover, this kid.
Hey, Jimmy.
Yeah.
What's going on? Now, do you have to leave?
I think I have to leave soon because I have to do Regis and Kelly.
You're doing Regis and Kelly.
Without Regis.
Sans Regis.
Yeah.
And Sal, you're going over there, too?
I'm going to head over there, yeah.
Well, all right.
He can stay if you want.
I understand your cousin Sam's here.
So am I saying goodbye to you? I don't want to hold you here.
I think we
Kip.
have to
All right.
leave, unfortunately. Sadly.
Sal, good seeing you.
Thank
It was
you.
nice spending time with you. Jimmy, I wish you continued success. I hope these upfronts, whatever they are, go well for you.
Now I feel weird about the next time. I feel weird about visiting you because I feel like...
You mean visiting him at home?
Yeah, because I feel like we
Just
always get
visit
the
me.
honest account, but then I feel like I'm making you uncomfortable when I'm at your house.
Not at all. I love being with you. We go away on vacation together. I mean, what's the matter with you?
Well, I don't, because you said then you feel like you have to entertain me. You don't have to entertain
Don't worry.
me.
I know.
I'm self-entertaining.
Believe me, and so am I.
Okay, good.
How dare you? Look, I don't know what's going on in your romantic life. I'm sorry
Is he dating? You didn't even find out for us.
I would never ask. I don't know
I'm
what
dating
he's doing.
Neil Patrick Harris.
You're not the type of guy that we're not going to open up the tabloids and see you're dating like every woman in Hollywood. Now that you're free of Sarah and you're a single
Definitely
guy.
not.
You're not. You're not going to womanize.
What are you going to do?
You know,
are
I'm
you
not
going
like
to
that.
a dating service? Are you? What are
Yeah,
you doing?
I'm on,
Millionaire matchmaker?
I'm on that Ashley Madison.
Well, he
You're
has
on
a
Ashley Madison. You only date married women.
Yes, I'm only only fucking married women.
Well, Jimmy has a certain type. I think he's going to ask Elaine Boozler.
And so the dating will begin. The dating will commence as soon as you get over Sarah.
Theoretically, yes. I guess so. Yes.
Excellent. We can't wait for that. Who will it be? Jennifer Love Hewitt?
Well, who will the lucky lady be?
Will you be picking up women on the show? Will you do that, Lou?
No, I don't think so. I can't imagine that will happen.
Who are your guests for the rest of the week when you get back to L.A.? We'll pick out one for you.
Ben Stiller. I really don't know who the guests are, to be honest with you.
Do you fantasize that you'll be with another famous woman? I mean, Sarah was famous.
Was that fun?
I've decided never, ever to go out with another famous person.
Is that true?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Unless they're really, really good looking.
Kathleen Turner.
Why?
Yeah. Maybe another hot Jewish comedian like a Whoopi Goldberg.
There's nothing I hate more than being the subject of. I don't like being the subject of speculation. I don't like people being interested in my life like that.
But aren't
so you got into the right business.
But aren't people going to always be interested in your life?
Not nearly. It's exponential when it's two famous people. Nobody cares about who other, like nobody cares about who Conan is dating. Right?
Well, because Conan's married.
Yeah, but nobody cared beforehand. Nobody cares that he's married.
I think they would. Well, you're saying because she's not in the business, is what you're saying.
Right.
Oh, I see. So when you're dating another famous person,
I'm trying to be more like Conan.
You're going to try and be like Conan O'Brien.
Yes.
That sounds like makes a lot of sense.
You better get better writers.
But it is possible because you're in Hollywood and you meet the girls you meet are girls who come on your show who are in fact famous, and a lot of these. Actresses and stuff. I mean, it's hard to resist.
I say it's not hard for them to resist.
No.
I think you ought to fix him up with Renee Zellweger.
Oh,
yeah.
I could have fucked her on the set of The Bachelor. I let her off the hook.
Renee Zellweger.
No, I know she's. No, that's
have
not.
You
I'm
met
not
her?
interested in that. I have met her.
You've had her on the show?
I think so.
Not attracted to Renee Zellweger?
It has nothing to do with it.
What? Would you never think about fucking her?
No,
really
I wouldn't. I'm not interested.
If I was single, I would fuck Renee Zellweger. I would.
You could get her at Bridget Jones' Diary.
I told you I don't want to go out with anyone famous.
But wait a second. You don't fantasize like maybe a night with Carmen Electra or nothing like that?
That's not my thing.
What do you mean, not your thing?
Well, wait a minute. What about some supermodel?
Explain that to me. What do you mean you can't take Carmen Electra?
I think there has to be some depth there for me.
Oh, so supermodels are all stupid?
So Sarah was so deep.
Yeah.
I'll put it to you this way. Sarah would never do this. Carmen Electra...
Look, I said Jimmy was deep.
Carmen Electra was once asked on a talk show, what's the one thing she couldn't live without? And after she thought for a minute, she said food. So, I don't think Sarah would ever do that.
That's a good answer.
But do you think that Sarah will date someone famous?
I don't know.
Does she need that?
No, I don't think so.
She doesn't need that. So, it'll be interesting to see what you end up doing. Sal, what do you think? Sal, you're married.
I'm married, yeah.
So, but
Jimmy
what do you
think? I wasn't supposed to say anything, but he's secretly dating a pizza chef, this guy Chris Bianco. I'm not even kidding. He flies him out. The guy stayed with him for like a week, and then there's another chef that comes in, Adam Perry Lang, and they cook, and that's his focus right now.
You love to cook, right? That's your thing.
I do, yeah. I love to eat.
You're a cook?
Yeah. I do. Yeah.
By the way, fucking a pizza chef where I'm from is not gay.
You should try eating food. It's delicious.
I'm going to do that when I do that.
Yeah, that sounds crazy. All right. So, and also, will you and Sarah become friends in the future where she will be able to come on the show?
No, we will not.
You will not become friends.
I don't know.
It's going to be a major showbiz feud that lasts centuries.
I agree with you. You're not going to become friends.
Listen, I got enough friends.
Right. You will not go the route of Johnny Carson and date some of the tea time players, or you will not.
Have the girls on your show. Hire
I don't
them
have
just
any
to date
tea time
them.
players.
You don't.
No, I don't. No, it's not my. You know me. It's not my
Look,
thing.
Howard, he was on the Man Show and never fucked one of the juggies.
Not only didn't
he was married.
Not only didn't I fuck any of them, I would hide in my room reading from them. I didn't want to be part of it.
Will Leno,
they don't want to read with you?
Let me before you leave, because I know you have to go. Will Leno's new show fail? I'm talking about this now. You're in the late night game. You spend a lot of time on your show, and I know you do a lot of hard work. And people should watch Jimmy's show. But will you take a look at Leno's new show? And you've probably given this some evaluation. You probably even have research on this. Don't you think this is what I think? Leno made the biggest mistake of his career, not staying in late night television.
I think it would have been safer to go to ABC. Yeah, for him to go to ABC at 11:30. Yes.
But that would have been horrible for you. You wouldn't want him at 11:30.
Not necessarily, because it would be a better lead-in than Nightline, and perhaps there would have been other networks that were interested in me.
But you told me you would never follow Leno.
That's right. You said you were going to leave.
No, but I changed that eventually.
Oh, did you?
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
You thought it through.
Yeah.
You said I'll go on at 12:30. Leno can go on at 11:30.
Yes.
You really would have gone ahead and done that? I don't believe you.
I honestly would have. Absolutely.
You would not have gone to another network. Let's say if
I might. I mean, I would have considered.
What if Fox
that.
needed a late night?
I
show?
would have considered it. Yes.
You would have.
Yes.
That would have been a good thing.
Yeah.
But now Leno will die at 10 o'clock, won't he? It's the end. Do you think? Do you ever envision a scenario where perhaps Leno could end up going back to the Tonight Show and they fire Conan, and then Conan or whatever his name is comes over to ABC?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't know about all of those things, but I could envision any of those things individually happening.
Well,
yes.
how do you feel
Yes.
that Leno's going to do?
I don't.
Give us your prediction.
I don't. You know what? I don't think it's going to be successful. I'll be honest with you, and I don't think it has anything to do with Jay. I think it has all to do with the local affiliates and their news, where they make all their money. And if the lead-in is not as strong, they're going to scream and yell and demand something, and it's going to be a mess.
This Leno move could be the end of all television, is
It
what you're
could be.
saying. Right? This could actually
Let's
end
hope so.
television as we think
Let's
about
hope
it.
so. We should start Twittering more.
Will Jay take Stuttering John?
Yes, Jay will definitely take Stuttering John, and I believe that Jay has told Stuttering John, and Stuttering John just isn't saying because they want to keep it all a secret.
You think it's that big a deal? I mean, why
I
can't
think
John
they think it's that big a deal.
Really?
Do you think if Leno gets into real trouble, he'll divorce Mavis and date Sarah Silverman?
That would be a surprise.
She was lucky for you, maybe. You know.
If Leno gets divorced, he'll try to steal Beth.
My prediction is Leno will do poorly. I believe it will not last long. I believe Conan might be moved out, but he will be tarnished. In other words, he will have failed.
You're saying Conan's not going to be successful?
I don't know, because if Jay isn't successful, Conan has to be more successful than Leno was.
And also now, if Jay doesn't do well, it hurts Conan's rating.
Right.
Aha. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
So you're saying everyone's fucked?
Yeah.
Jay's going to screw up everybody.
You're not fucked. You're in the perfect position.
You're so not fucked. You're not dating anybody.
Yeah, but I'm flying like Coach. You know, I mean,
you're shitting in front
What
of
is
Sal.
it, Ralph? Quickly, because Jimmy Kimmel has to leave here. He has a very active.
This is never
life.
a good thing when Ralph calls. I know.
Well, Jimmy, I love you, but I don't understand.
That's great.
How come you're not out there getting laid and going crazy? And you know, like I know you're straight, and so like, why wouldn't you want to? Like, you want to have conversations or something, it sounds like?
Well, Ralph, I'm not that type, right? I mean, I think you would have gathered that about me by now.
You're not a pig. You're not a sex maniac.
It's not like you got to go in and just pick up some floozy and every night, but like...
Jimmy, you should be vomiting at Howard's house. You got to live it up.
I told Sal to vomit at your house.
Hey, Ralph, what bits has Jimmy ripped off from Howard lately?
I've been ripping off Jimmy lately.
There you go.
Have you seen Stuttering Sal?
All right, Ralph. Jimmy,
No, but really, I mean,
you think Jimmy should be banging the hottest chicks in Hollywood?
Ralph, give me a little time. I need to.
Yeah.
Maybe you need Ralph to help you with that.
Yeah.
All right,
moving
thank you,
in.
Ralph.
Jimmy's got a huge TV.
I do have the biggest TV in the world.
I haven't seen it. Tom Cruise and his mom out.
You're going to be.
Can you tell the story real quick of why, like, that thing that you did to Jeffrey Ross?
What?
You know what? I think we'll miss the Regis and Kelly show if we tell it, though.
I don't even know what he's talking about.
I told you about the prank he pulled on Jeff Ross, Sal.
Oh, right. Yeah.
I told him we get a heads up ahead of time who's going to be voted off. So I texted Jeffrey Ross
On Dancing with the Stars.
On Dancing with the Stars. Sorry, I said you're safe, and he said, "Are you sure?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm sure."
But Jeffrey was really into it and in love with this girl, and
then on the air, he was pretending to be nervous the whole show, like he didn't know he was going to. And then on the air, you see him when he gets eliminated. He goes, "We lost."
I had inside information. Oh, that's great. That's right, because you guys get tipped off who's going to be losing Dancing with the Stars.
Nobody thought we did.
Oh, he thought you did. I get it. All right. Thank you, Ralph. You're a fascinating phone call.
Sal was trying to kill the odds. You know, he was betting on Dancing with the Stars.
All right, listen, Jimmy, I'm not going to hold you any longer.
Thank you, Howard.
Jimmy Kimmel.
We had a beautiful weekend. Thank you very much.
I love you. It's always great seeing you. Yes, and anytime you're around, I want to be with you. And Sal, you too. You're always welcome. All right. The great Jimmy Kimmel and Sal, his cousin. Sal, what's your last name?
Do I have one? Icono.
You don't use that name?
No, I do. Yeah.
You switched it to Kimmel?
That's the way Opera Man says icon. top.
That's right. And so there it is.
You set the bar pretty high for Howard's house guests. You said you were such a good guest.
You know, I'm very. I was raised well. I clean up after myself. I keep quiet, and people seem to appreciate that. I think the great thing is Ralph really set the bar so low that
by puking everywhere.
Yeah, and I appreciate that he did that. I really do.
So you had a good time today?
Yeah, I had fun.
No, was it? It was a little awkward talking about your past
I know this is terrible.
relationships,
I have to
right?
get the fuck out of here. I'm not kidding. I really. They got a live TV show I'm gonna miss.
I really am. Nah, I kind of am. I'm kind of done. I mean, I love it here, and I love doing the radio show and all that stuff. But I think after a year and a half more worth of shows, it's time for me to sing my swan song. You know, and some things are starting to bother me, and I don't want it to get ugly.
Oh.
You know what I mean? There are things around here that are bothering me.
I see.
And I'm not the type that complains to people, so I just let it brew inside of me, and then I just leave. But I don't know. Stuff bothers me. Stuff bothers me all the time, but I don't know. It's enough already of me.
Well, David Hinckley just had to change his article.
Yeah, well, I don't know. You know, it's like Jimmy said to me over the week. He says, "You got to stay. You know, it's so great. The show's never been better. Blah 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 blah. You guys work so well together." I said, "Yeah." I said, "We do." I said, "We're good at this, but how much longer can you keep doing this thing?"
Well, here's a rap that everybody gives me, and so I'll ask you now. You'll be fine doing nothing. Everyone says, "Can Howard?" People go, "Howard, I know his personality. I listen to him. He's a personality. Can he stay home and do nothing?"
Well, he won't be, doesn't have to do nothing. You know,
No, there are things I could do. I could straighten the pillows. I have to have a meeting. I have meetings about everything. You know, I guess I am the. I am the leader of the show, so I meet about everything. My meeting today is with Gary, Laura, my assistant, and Tracy. Because I got something set me off. Carol Leifer, who was our guest the other week, sent me a box of chocolate. So, I get a list of things that were sent in. So now probably that's a week old or something, or I don't know how many days old.
It came in last Wednesday.
Last Wednesday. So I got word today. So, I got to put a system in place where somebody back there goes, "Oh, Carol Leifer was a guest. She sent Howard a personal note and a gift." It should go right over to Howard.
Right.
In other words, we're not going to go through the usual system of putting... someone's got to be...
A week later, it'll show up at Howard's desk.
Somebody's got to be a little bit on top of that so that I can get and then I want to figure out how I can get a note to Carol Leifer real quick, a personal note. Like maybe I dictate it to either Tracy or Laura, and they, I don't know if any of them, Laura takes dictation. I can just go, "Hey, Carol, thanks so much. You were great." And then right away it gets acknowledged that we got her box of chocolates. Because that's really nice of her to do.
Doesn't fall into the black hole of, wow, I wonder if my gift got there.
Yeah. So then I called Laura last night. I said, "How do we get this done?" I said, "Let's have a conference call. Because if I don't conduct it, it'll never get done because no one takes it seriously."
Well, we would take that. See, we would take that seriously without you.
Gary,
really
how
would.
many years we've been doing this? 20-something years.
But we have
nobody can figure out that, like, when Carol Leifer sends something, that I should know about it pretty quickly. I mean, who wants a box of chocolates sitting around for a week anyway?
It wasn't a week, Howard. It hasn't been a week. You knew yesterday. It got here late Wednesday afternoon, and you knew yesterday. That is some time, but it's not a week.
I don't know. And then, like, it's sitting in your office, and like, who opens the mail? You?
No, Tracy opens the mail.
Right.
She locks
Tracy
everything.
says you get the box of chocolates.
No, that's not true.
That's what she said.
Tracy opens up all the mail.
Yeah.
She logs it in. So it's, Carol Leifer sent this,
Right.
and then everything comes through me just so I could see it, because some things I put in your bag that day.
Right.
Some things I just need to know that you're getting, even if you don't take them. I need to know that somebody sent you a screener, whether you saw it or not.
Okay.
I need to know that a book came, so when they call, I can say, yeah, we saw the book.
See, I know I'm going to have a meeting today, and I'm never going to get to the bottom of this. I'm
You're
already
already
zoning out.
having the meeting, yeah.
I'm already zoning out. Like Gary,
we're in the meeting.
Like Gary's explaining it to me, and I just go, can't you just get this done?
It's like Jimmy talking about his breakup with Sarah.
Yeah, I don't understand. It's like I just go, I don't know how to get it done, but you get it done.
But you get a list every day. I guess you just didn't see it quick enough.
No,
I
but
know
we
what you're
get the
saying.
list. By the time the list gets to me, and the time I get to read it, it's 5 days old.
Howard, I'm your man.
There's
Let me
certain
open all the mail,
You have the meeting,
and I'll log it in.
Yeah.
No, what you're saying is certain things should get personal attention. Like they shouldn't
Right.
go through the system. You should just be
Yeah.
expedited to you that Carol Leifer sent.
Right, but you can't.
and then something should be triggered to say, Howard, you dictate this thank you note to Carol Leifer, and it'll be sent right out.
Right.
We have the address.
There's certain, when you
Yeah.
get them, these things need to be taken care of right away.
Like I noticed Letterman's got a system in place. Whenever I do anything for Letterman, there's a note that comes. It's typed, and it's like Dave from the desk of David Letterman, and it goes like, "Hey Howard, it was really good seeing you. Let's get together sometime." Blah 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 blah. David Letterman.
Mm-hmm.
And I can tell, like he must. I don't even know that he writes it because it's typed. I don't even know that it's his thoughts. It seems like it's someone else is doing it for him.
Right.
But that's cool. I want that system. But I know I'm going to get on the phone today and be aggravated that I even have to take time to come up with a system. Like
Well, you
I shouldn't have to.
Would you believe me if I told you we will handle it? You wouldn't.
I would. How what are you going to do? Let me hear it.
Well, listen, this is the first you brought it up that you want something that quick, because usually
wouldn't it be cool, like if I said to Carol Leifer, hey, that was really nice of you to send something. It was totally unnecessary, but man, you're the greatest, and
the hardest part of the system is deciding who fits the bill.
Right.
Like in other words, if Mark Harris sends you something, does that fit the bill?
You answer the question. You answer your own question.
Probably not.
Okay.
But
so
I never
who
know
am I
with you.
talking? You
No,
think
I
I'm
never
talking
know
about
with you.
Mark Harris?
No, but I never know with you, because sometimes you go.
You don't know the difference between Mark Harris and Carol Leifer?
I know the difference between them. But,
I don't.
But sometimes.
Yes, you do.
No, sometimes to you.
All right,
you're like,
name a name that you think you can't tell what to do. And then
Mark
you're gonna,
Harris must have been a bad example.
Right. If that's the example.
Beetlejuice send something, Gower.
I got to look at the schedule for the last couple of weeks.
All right.
No, that doesn't work. I was going to say D. Snyder.
All right. D. Snyder sends me something. What do you think is the answer?
You probably should know.
That's right.
Craig Gass.
What do you think?
You probably don't need to know.
Right.
You know already. You know. Now it's getting embarrassing.
Wait, this is an embarrassing game, isn't it?
Well, I didn't want to have the meeting off the air, but this is what happened.
This is getting embarrassing.
Oh, my God.
Go ahead.
Craig Gass is on top of the Chrysler
Craig Gass
building.
would send me something. It would be in the list, and then I could respond to it.
First of all, I know Craig Gass. He ain't sending you something.
You don't need to know immediately.
Thank you. Yeah, I don't need to know
Well,
that
he
day.
was just about to. Now he just put it down.
See,
Right. So, like Jimmy Kimmel, obviously, yes.
right, and then I want someone to say to me, "Okay, do you have a note you want us to send Jimmy?" And I'll just say, "Here's."
All right, here's a better example. Lisa Lampanelli was here the other day.
Good.
And she handed you, while you were in here, she said, here's an autographed DVD and CD. I'd love, for you to watch. But it's in her mind, it's a gift.
Okay. What do you think the answer is on that one?
Probably not.
Right.
See, you already know.
You know the answer to this.
Yeah, but Robin, here's the point, and you know this because you've seen me for 25 years. I know till I don't know. And then when I don't know, I'm the biggest dick in the world.
Even if you get it 99% of the time right,
meaningless.
You're helping me.
Fucking
No, you're
meaningless.
helping me.
No, because 1% will be the first 3 hours of the show.
Right, Gary's got a point.
No, listen. Okay.
Be honest.
Lisa Lampanelli is a great girl, but she gives me a DVD. Okay. I'm talking about.
Okay, Lisa Renna.
Go ahead.
Sends you her book.
Go ahead.
Hey, Howard, it's with a note. Howard, you're great. I think she sent the note something like, I couldn't wait for you to have this book. I think you're going to love it.
Okay.
Is that a gift or a promotional item?
What's your answer? What do you think?
I think it's a promotional item, but she sees it as a gift.
We know that. And you'll put that on the list, and if I want to write to Lisa Renna, I'll write to Lisa Renna.
Even though she sent you a personal note.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. I'll read the personal note and I'll figure out what to
But does anybody in here understand that Howard might go, Gary, Lisa
Why
Rinna
didn't
sent
you
me a
give me
fucking
that?
personal
But Gary,
note.
you got
Well, I'll
it
tell you
right.
when it'll happen. If Lisa Rinna calls and said, "Did you ever get my book?"
Right,
Gary,
exactly.
You just got it 100% right. Every example you gave, you knew the answer to.
But Robin hit it right.
Now, Gary, I'll give you an example.
But he also threw 95 great pitches out of 100.
Lisa Rinna comes in here, and she sends me a radio, an antique radio.
That's a yes.
Ah.
Okay, I got one for you.
Okay.
I go. Fran Drescher used to come in all the time, and
Go
then
ahead.
after she came in, I'm going to send you a gift, and she would send you those fucking croutons.
The pasta and the croutons.
Right.
It's a gift. Howard, I am sending you croutons because you're a good guy.
Okay. What do you think?
I think no.
Exactly. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Sending you croutons.
She's sending me the croutons, so I'll talk about them on the. But okay, Fran Drescher comes in, and she's on the air talking about she just bought a Kindle, and she thinks it's the greatest thing. So then you get a personal note in the mail from Fran Drescher, and it says, "Howard, I love being on the show. I want you to try a Kindle. I went out and got you one."
That's a yes. That's a resounding yes. Here's
so
one.
There you go.
I got one for you.
Go ahead.
Okay, this is a tough one, but
go ahead.
Remember,
I bet you it's not tough.
Okay, remember the comedian Bobby Slayton?
I remember Bobby.
Bobby's wife owns a kids' clothing store.
Right.
Right. He sends you a box of clothes for your kids.
Go ahead.
So the answer.
What do you think?
Well, now it's tough.
Tell me what you think.
The answer is it's a yes, gift wise, but does Bobby make the cut celebrity wise?
Now think about it. He's promoting his wife's clothing line.
But it's still a big
do you
box.
think there's a real rush for me to get to Bobby Slayton on that one?
Yeah, but I'm sure your daughter's favorite designer is Norma Slayton.
Yeah, exactly. Come on, Gary. What do you think? That can wait.
Teddy Slayton.
In other words, I'll get a note out to the guy, but, you know.
All right, but that's a tough one because he is a celebrity and it was a box of clothes.
Right.
You know what?
That box of clothes is going to end up in the garbage.
Let me tell you something. There's two things
I'm
that
going
are
to give it to
iffy.
charity, which is 99% of what I do around
So
here.
I'm gauging the level of the celebrity and the quality of the gift.
The only one you got wrong so far is Carol Leifer's chocolates. That's it.
Which started this.
The real one.
There's
Yeah,
two
the real
things.
one.
There's two things that are iffy: whether or not Bobby's a celebrity and whether or not those are clothes.
Right.
Gary, you missed one very important aspect. If Howard was single, you give him anything Lisa Rinna said.
Right.
Right.
Tracy.
Oh, when I was single, it was terrible.
I
Gary
can imagine.
and I had meetings about that. It was
that
so
was
embarrassing.
so uncomfortable, Howard. That was-
Really?
When I was single and there was a hot chick on the show and I wanted to go out with her, I would somehow say on the air, "Hey, yeah, you know, you should get me your number." And then
That's a good
Gary,
code.
Then Gary would walk in and I go, "Gary, did you get the number from her?" And he goes, "You wanted me to get the number?"
I missed the signal on one very important person.
Yeah, he missed a lot of signals.
And Howard goes, because I remember Howard goes, "You got the number?" And I go, "You were serious? Because what the fuck is wrong with you?"
But get the numbers. Like if Joe Girardi's steal sign was look steal.
I felt bad too. 'cause I
Artie,
didn't want to
you
put-
go
I
in the
didn't
green room and get a fucking number from somebody.
No, look, I listen. Teddy tried it for me a couple of times.
It's embarrassing.
But Howard, can I ask you
know
one question?
what? And the problem is, nobody's going to say no to giving you the number.
Well, first of all, they're giving me the number, so that's
Right.
already creepy.
Yeah.
But
They're giving
nobody's
you the
going to
number.
say no. You don't know whether they really, you don't know whether you're forcing these people to give you a number or not.
I was too busy or lazy to date, so it was a perfect dating opportunity.
Absolutely.
If I
you
could
took
just
full advantage.
If I could do everything on the air, I was fine. It was like, wow, this is cool. I'm on the air. I met a nice, attractive girl. She said something about her phone number on the air after I badgered her.
I have a phone number.
Yeah, okay. Gary, did you get that?
I have a phone, Howard.
Do you own a phone, or are you a heroin addict whose mother took away their phone?
Gary,
Well, you
are
don't want my
listening?
number.
Right.
But Howard, let me ask you a question because I think the fans are interested in this.
Yes.
In that crazy time you said you had, sort of womanizing.
Yeah.
How many girls that were on this show did you bang?
I don't
That you
know.
met on the show?
Not a lot.
Okay.
Like maybe
Under 5?
Yes.
All right.
Right, Gary?
I got 3 in my head right now. I'm telling you right now. And I got one in my head that you don't even know that I know.
Let's double that number then.
Right.
It's like a drink.
It's like a chick telling you her weight.
I don't think there was a lot, honestly.
Gary, I'm talking about that he met for the first time on the show.
Well, there's one that jumps to mind for sure.
There were a couple I'm thinking of I was working, but I never even got around to.
Oh, yeah?
Either they just didn't like me that
Right.
way.
That happens sometimes.
Yeah, maybe you might be right. But there are 3 that I'm thinking of.
Yeah. I don't know.
And I'm not thinking that hard.
I wonder what 3 you're thinking of. because you should
Well,
write
you
them
know
down.
two for sure.
Write them down and hand them to me. I'll give them to Howard.
Yeah. Yeah, don't even write it.
You know
down.
what?
You know what?
It's
That's
still
water under the
comfortable for me.
bridge.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're married. You're got
Why
married.
go back there?
I'm happy. I do have a great wife. It was great last
We
night.
love her.
We watched it. You do?
We
do
do.
people generally
He's
like her,
acting
or
like
are they
he's in the
afraid?
marriage,
No,
too.
you know what?
Do you think there's anyone afraid to say they don't love her?
No. Here's the
Besides
deal.
Sal?
But he's acting like he's in the marriage too. We love him.
But in
Well,
a way,
he is in the
hold
marriage
on, in a way,
anyway.
I am, and I'm going to tell you why, Robin.
Really?
I'll tell you why I'm in the marriage in a strange way.
He is.
I have a friend who worked for a big celebrity for a long period of time, and then that celebrity got divorced, and his life was miserable.
Okay.
Because that celebrity was miserable.
Okay.
And his life was miserable. So
I
if
see.
Howard were not happy,
You're
we would all be
miserable.
fucking unhappy. So the fact that he's happy, I'm in a great marriage.
So, Gary, Howard's pretty upset that it took so long for him to get the package, I guess, from Carol Leifer. And he wants to implement like a new system. Have you figured out what you're going to do exactly?
Yeah, Tracy and I spoke about it. The truth is there is a system in place. An email is sent to Laura every day telling her what came in the mail that day. So I guess it's my job to point it out more than Laura's job to point it out. But, I mean, he gets a list every day. He just doesn't look at it every day. So I guess they just want us to expedite it and say, hey, you should notice that Carol Leifer, but not Craig Gass, Jimmy Kimmel, but not Mark Harris, sent you an important package.
So you're saying that if he would have looked at it earlier, he would have seen it? It was definitely
Right,
on
if
the
he would
list?
have looked at it, he would have seen it. But he's saying, I don't get to look at it every day. He's saying, I'm telling you, I don't look at it every day, so give me a bigger heads up. It's more of a discussion. I don't think he was, he's not necessarily angry. It's just, sort of putting it all together. But it's done.
I'm Jesse James. I'm here to do the Howard Stern Show, and pretty excited. Been a Howard Stern fan since like the late 80s.
Oh, so you're a big fan?
Yeah,
Okay.
so, well, I was a bodyguard and spent a lot of time in New York, and I think Rick Rubin turned me onto it. He had like cassette tapes of like when Howard, of the old show, when he got like booted off, and like wore him out on tour buses listening to him, so it's
Nice,
pretty
man.
cool.
So this is a pretty big occasion for you then.
Yeah, I'm pretty nervous. It's actually, I usually just breeze through this stuff because most people that interview me are dipshits and like I just talk smack to them. But this one, I'm like, fuck.
All right, Jesse James also was on Celebrity Apprentice, used to be a real badass.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah. I've been reading about this guy,
Like
Jesse
how
James.
badass?
He was a real badass. Hey, Jesse, how you doing? Good to see you. Hey, nice to meet you. Pleasure.
That's a badass?
He's a badass.
He's a badass.
Jesse James is a badass.
Yeah, you fuck with him, Robin.
Yeah, fuck with him and see how far you
Hi,
get.
Robin.
Yeah.
Hi there, how are you?
Robin wore extra cleavage for you.
Trying to steal you away.
Hey, can I tell you why I was laughing when I brought him in? Tim came to the green room. Tim never says hello to the guys. Tim came to the green room and he just goes, dude, you're my idol. And he just started talking like how much he loves Jesse James and how Jesse's his idol.
Why is Jesse James Tim Sabian's idol? Like, I could see why.
As we were walking in, Tim was just like reeling off stuff and he goes, that bike you made in Afghanistan?
Tim, what do you know about bikes? I mean,
he's a biker. Well, I've had bikes all my life as a kid,
I didn't know
Harleys
that.
and all that kind of thing. And
You can see by him he's a biker.
You can tell.
Yeah, right. I'm bad, But the
you have
stuff that he
socks on
built
with your loafers.
No,
Yeah, Jesse, he's a skinny, fruity executive.
Exactly right. But he
Needs a
just
man
builds the
purse.
coolest bikes. I mean, if you saw his stuff, it's just absolutely amazing what you do. So it's an art. It's
he's one of your heroes.
Oh,
Okay,
he's
right.
one of the greatest bike builders ever.
Tim
in
was
car builders.
Tim was a Mongol. I don't know if you know that. Honorary Mongol.
Card carrying.
Card carrying.
Actually, I think Tim was in the Chingaling.
Jesse, nice to have you on the show. Now, how did you get to be? Where'd you grow up?
In California, Long Beach.
And were you a kid who was always into building cars and motorcycles? Were you just one of those kids who were just freaky into that stuff?
Yeah, my dad was like a antique dealer, and I never had any money, and I wanted cool stuff, and I had to learn how to get it myself or make it.
Wow.
But you were one of those kids that you didn't go to college or anything, right?
I went to college for 2 years and played football.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
But then weren't you a Hell's Angel for a while? You were part of the motorcycle club? You were never a Hell's Angel?
No, I was a bodyguard for like 7 years. Actually, have to tell you right now, like, this is, to me, I feel like I've finally made it. If I could do your show, I've done like 60 Minutes and everything else, but just to be sitting here, it's like, whoa, man!
Oh, that's
we're on the Howard Stern show.
I love that. I actually met your wife, Sandra Bullock, on her movie set one time.
Yeah,
attractive woman.
Yeah,
Not a
she
bad
told me
deal.
she called you up one time and gave you some shit for a long time ago.
Did
So-
she?
Yeah,
I
we
think
talked
so.
to her on the phone once.
Yeah.
She called from the set, yeah.
Why'd she give me shit?
She's German.
And you were goofing on her, so she called from the set.
Right.
Oh, she gave it to me. She put me in my place.
Yeah.
Amazing how easily I cave
No, but
in.
you know, I was a bodyguard and spent a lot of time. The first person I ever worked for was Rick Rubin, and he had these like cassette tapes of your show from like the '80s, and this was in the late '80s, and we used to have them on tour buses and listen to
that's
them.
cool.
And it was like, being from LA and California, you know, radio's pretty generic, but
Well-
hearing like this dude that got kicked off for
dirty words.
Yeah.
Did you? So you go to college for 2 years, you play football, you get out of there, and you're trying to figure out how to make it as a young man, and you become a bodyguard. Is that the way it goes?
Well, I did security all through high school. You know, I used to work at a racetrack called Ascot.
Right.
And then on the weekends, I worked at Golden Apple Comics up in Melrose, and I did security for Bill Leibowitz.
But then you get into guarding like some famous people. You
Yeah,
were,
and then
you were
Rick-
Madonna's bodyguard for a while.
Yeah,
right?
Rick Rubin offered me a job, not as a bodyguard, but doing special projects.
What does that mean?
Collecting money.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah,
Is
and
that
then,
right?
What was he doing?
Yeah, what was he up to?
Just producing, you know,
Right.
doing Deaf American Records, and then pretty soon they asked me to go on tour because promoters weren't paying and people were ripping them off. And then,
Wow.
you know, it was in the late '80s when violent metal started getting really big and kids were getting really hurt at shows, and so
Right.
they kind of wanted me to come in and.
So that's how you made your living? You were the guy.
Yeah, I
who,
did
you were
it.
the collector.
And then I traveled all the way around the world, and like in 5 years, about 10 times, and the whole time on the road, all I was doing was going to motorcycle shops and buying parts, and that was kind of what I did. You know, when I was off the road, I'd work on my bike in my mom's garage, and I finally just got tired of it.
Did you ever have to beat the shit out of people when you were a bodyguard?
No, I'm a non-violent person.
No, come on. You're a violent guy, right?
Well, back in the late 80s, early 90s, you could still, like, duke it out, and it was like mutual combat. Nobody sued each other. So.
Did you ever have to go to jail or anything?
No.
Never. You had to think about it. That's funny. I do.
Yeah,
No,
I mean,
because
what could you mistake for jail in that thought?
Yeah, right. Because you said on Celebrity Apprentice that one of the reasons you wanted to do it was because you wanted to apologize to figure skater Scott Hamilton because when you were a young man, you stole his car.
Yeah.
Right? So that was a big thing for you.
Well,
so
they begged me to do the show, the producers and casting people, for like 2 years.
Right.
And I mean, I'm never going to do that show. I'm too busy, and it's just not me. But they said, we have Scott Hamilton. And I said, okay, I'll do it.
Right, because you wanted to apologize to him.
Yeah, and I figured I would. I always felt bad because he's a little skater dude.
How did you come to steal Scott Hamilton's car? Was that your line of work for a while? Were you a car thief?
Well, you know, I was kind of like a crab trying to get out of a barrel. You know, when I was a kid, my parents let me fend for myself. And
how old were you when you were on your own?
I moved out when I was 15.
No kidding. Where was your dad and mom? I mean, what was their story?
They kind of split up when I was 5, and they're kind of that beatnik generation where, like, you know, kids are a drag, and you know.
yeah. Well, thanks for having me.
Yeah, and so you know, I mean, honestly, I did a lot of stuff that I'm not really proud of.
How
you know?
old were you when you stole Scott Hamilton's car?
I was 17.
Yeah.
You know, and that was, you know, I only did it because I had parts off of it sold, and I was looking for one, and someone knew of one that was at Ice Capades in San Diego, and so.
Where do you move when you're 15? When your parents basically throw you out of the house, where do you move to? I mean, how do you make? I mean, at 15, I couldn't even wipe my ass.
I moved in with my girlfriend and her mom.
Oh, they let you.
Yeah.
Wow, that's kind of cool.
And her mom was like, you know, pretty amazing lady that, like.
That's amazing.
She, like, you know, was the first time that I ever had, like, someone tell me, you know, look, hey, you need to get your shit together.
You mean
and
to
you're
tell
going to
me-
live in my house. You're not going to screw around. And
You were allowed to live in your girlfriend's house? Were you allowed to sleep in the same room with her and bang
no,
her?
they had a guest house. They let me in. And she
I
also
see.
had a boyfriend. The mom had a boyfriend that lived there, so.
How cool is that? That some woman would take you in just because you're with, probably, you know, I mean, that's unbelievable to
But
me.
how do you get into the house? Because you know he's banging the girlfriend in the house.
Yeah, I know. I mean, the mom's got it. You were banging your girlfriend.
It was high school. I was 15, you know.
You were
weren't
banging your girlfriend at that time, right? So she'd sneak into the guest house.
No,
that would never go.
Nothing like that.
You were listen. You didn't want to jeopardize the one place you could live.
Yeah, and it was one of those situations. If you look at it on the outside, it's like, wow, yeah, you're so lucky. But her mom was actually no BS and kind of like.
But they had a guest house. I mean, that's a wealthy
nice,
chick.
Yeah.
Well, it was not even. It was like a little house on their garage. A little one bedroom that was like 10 feet wide. And
Have you always been great with women? I mean, you were voted the 50 sexiest men in America. I know you were married to the beautiful, stunning, who I wish I could have had sex with, Janine Lindemuller for a while, the famous porn star. Did you get attracted to her from our show since you were a fan? I mean, had you heard her on our show?
No, I never really. I met her through a friend and didn't really. I never really saw her on this show,
I see. Because to me, she's one of the sexiest broads on the planet. I mean, I know you're divorced now and you're married to Sandra Bullock.
But beautiful, right?
Fucking beautiful girl, and must have been a monster in bed. And I know she's into chicks, so she was probably bringing you chicks, right?
Sometimes things aren't what they seem.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you gonna ruin the fantasy?
No, I won't ruin the fantasy.
Is that right? It wasn't. In other words, the fantasy I have of Janine is not only she's beautiful, no question, but the fantasy I always had was, okay, she's into girls. I know she brings girls home, and I figured you were having the time of your life. Like, I would have sat there and said, oh, my God, if I could be him, if I could just, be married to Janine, it'd be unbelievable the fun I'd be having.
Yeah, but then, real life and reality kicks in. And, I think it's
not as sexual, you're saying, as you think it would be?
I look at the situation now. I think I got in that relationship. I was married for 10 years.
Right.
And got out of that, and that was the first serious relationship I got into after being married for 10 years. And I think I more got into that relationship for everybody else.
Because
so guys like you would think I was cool.
So exactly, that's true. That can happen. You're like, hey, I'm
check this out.
You almost
everybody expects me to be having this life,
and
even though you think something is wrong with the relationship, you go, it can't be anything wrong because everyone's jealous of me.
Everything's really, really great and awesome and amazing while things are good.
Right.
But when it starts to spiral out of control, so much so that I feel like I'm losing it and going crazy, then it was. I think my basic synopsis of the situation, was amazing. I fell head over heels for this amazing, beautiful woman.
Right.
And then all of a sudden it started going bad and ended like nuclear warfare. And at the end of the day, we have this amazing daughter.
But what could have gone so bad?
You know what? I don't really want to say anything bad about her. She's in jail.
I know. Did you hear when she called in? She called our show.
And hey, if she's right here, by all means, I'll talk right to her face.
Right.
But,
it was pretty bitter. She didn't say anything bad about you. She was grateful that you're going to watch her, your daughter together, that you had together. So she's pretty thrilled about that because Janine's in jail for tax evasion.
Yeah.
Did you get caught up in that at all? I mean, the whole tax evasion thing?
A little bit.
You must have been thrilled with that.
Well, yeah, it's good when the IRS gets pointed in your direction for no reason.
Yeah, it's great. Huh?
Yeah, you know what? But the whole situation, it's like, hopefully, I hope when she goes through all this stuff, and she's pretty much hit rock bottom, that she I know there's a really great person and mom in there somewhere. It's just got to come out.
Yeah, it's weird though. Was it weird for you being married to a porn star for a while? Is it that guys think that they can have their way with your wife? And
I think it she'd been retired for 5 years.
Right.
And so it wasn't really on the tip of your tongue. It wasn't she's a current huge star. It was over in the past and she was changing. But then, I think it's harder for her to be in that kind of spotlight,
Would you recommend that a guy marry a porn star, or do you think that they have too many problems that it's just too much of a thing to overcome?
Just buy the DVD.
Just buy the DVD. Yeah,
Don't even go there. Just buy the DVD.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's better to beat off.
Yeah.
Was it hard for your current wife, Sandra, to get over the fact that you were married to a porn star? Did that almost destroy your new relationship in the sense that she couldn't take you seriously because you had been married to a porn star?
Well, I've been 100% honest with her and upfront about everything. Like right from the get-go, where like some of the things I had to tell her at the beginning of our relationship.
Right.
Like, hey, I was with the porn star. Hey, we're having a kid.
Right.
And all this stuff. And like several points, I expected her just to turn around and run.
Yeah, because that's right. Your wife, your porn star wife, was pregnant when you met Sandra, right? And it was like your marriage was ending. So that's a tough situation. Taking up with a guy who was just ending a marriage.
We were already apart like 7 months before that. And, you know, finding out like when she was like 6 months pregnant, you know, it's like, guess what? And I'm like, bullshit, you know, like.
But that could almost destroy a relationship, especially with Sandra Bullock.
It's been really hard, but it's a testament to what an amazing woman Sandy is, you know.
Well, how do you meet Sandra Bullock?
Yeah, that's cool because I tell you something. I met Sandra Bullock for 2 seconds this is before you, and I was thinking maybe if she comes on to me, you know, that'd be a pretty good hookup.
Sure.
I mean, wow.
Well, yeah, she's married to me, so it's got to give guys like you hope, because I'm just a knucklehead like you.
Yeah, I'm probably a bigger knucklehead than you. You at least can build a motorcycle. What do I do?
But how do you meet her?
Yeah,
I mean, how do you and what happens? How do you get to date Sandra Bullock?
Yeah, that's good. Tell the guys in my audience so they can be like a Sandra Bullock.
So went through nuclear warfare.
In your marriage.
And like swore that, okay, I'm just going to be this 50-year-old single guy.
Right.
I'm done. 2 marriages, I'm done. I'm not getting married a third time.
Yeah, after 2 marriages, you start to say it's not working.
You know, and I was like, that's it. You know, and a couple months had passed, and she had wanted to she contacted my office and wanted to bring her godson for a tour of the shop because he was a big fan of Monster Garage and West Coast Choppers and stuff like that. And I kind of, okay, cool, whatever. You know, I kind of automatically figured she's probably a bitch. You know, fancy Hollywood chick, and like, and she brought him, and I talked to her for like 5 minutes, and it was like, you know, never in a million years would she be any kind of a. I mean, she's amazing and beautiful, and but I would never like go for that type of girl. I've always, you know, kind of
wilder chicks.
Blondes with big boobs.
Right, yeah.
You know, I'll take that one.
Yeah,
you know, I've never put any thought to any woman I've been with other than superficial features, you know, and I never ever like thought, you know, hey, that looks like someone good I could spend time with, you know, but this, I like something triggered in my head and I was like, wow, you know, that's, you know, she's smart and she looks you in the eye when she talks to you and she
ain't bad looking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and so I kind of contacted her assistant, said, hey, I want to ask her out.
Wow,
take some balls.
Ballsy.
Yeah, and you know, I don't know where that came from, but then I asked her out, and she said no.
She said no. Not interested. Why? Do you think because, hey, you know, you're some like motorcycle dude, and you're also getting out of a marriage with a porn star and all that other stuff?
Well, I don't think she knew that much about me, and you know, just
why do you think she said no?
Probably because she's smart.
But did she? So when I get a no, that's no. I'm like,
you don't go back again. How does it wind up being a date? How did you kept going back?
Hey, you know, squeaky wheel gets the grease.
Yeah. Huh?
So I you know, we kind of emailed back and forth for a couple months, and it was.
Well, wait a second. She says no.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you start emailing back and forth?
I had her email address that she gave me, and we just started going back and forth, and it was the first time ever in any relationship that I ever have been in that was like a courtship.
Right.
And I really got to know her, and she got to know me because she automatically thought I was like a bigot and a racist and like, you know. And
why? Because you're into bikes?
Well, just, I mean, you look at me, you know.
I kind of thought that when you
like were Daniel Carver's kid.
Yeah, I thought maybe you'd come in here and say the N-word or something. I don't know.
No, but I grew up, you know, I grew up in Long Beach and was born in Linwood, you know, an all-black neighborhood. And like, you know, I thought my name was Wedo when I was a kid because all the Mexicans used to call me that. And like,
so you didn't have any real racial bias. In other words, you might fit in with some of her Hollywood-type friends, it turns out.
Well, I don't know about all that.
Right. So you're writing, emailing back and forth. So how did she finally give in?
Yeah, and we just eventually went out to dinner, and like it was a great time. And you know, she kind of asked me like, you know, when do you want to go out again? I said tomorrow.
Well, that's the move. Yeah. And now, the whole time you were emailing her, you didn't see any other chicks or anything? Like you were really that focused, or you were going out with girls?
No.
You went without.
Kind of swore it off.
How long did you go without? Let's call it something nice. pussy? How long did you go without it? How long were you free of sex?
Probably about 2 weeks.
2 weeks? Wow. How did you last?
No.
Oh, really? How long? Like months?
Yeah, it was a couple months, probably.
So you were focused on Sandra.
Oh, I think it was just, I don't know, it was awesome.
Wow.
It's awesome to, like, I've always put hard work first in every aspect of my life to be successful in business and TV shows and all that stuff. And I've never put hard work in a relationship. Like, never ever, like, applied my work ethic to making a relationship work. And,
Right.
like, I guess you have to listen to chicks. It's weird.
It is weird.
Yeah, when they talk, you have to, like, look at them and listen. And, like,
Hey, how do you learn that stuff?
Yeah.
Nobody teaches you.
And then when they ask you, like when a woman asks you, hey, you want to go look at furniture and go to the gardening store today? You got to go, yeah, let's go.
Yeah. Like you got, in other words, sometimes be interested in what they're in, even though you don't necessarily care about it that much. So that first...
And you have to talk to them.
Yeah, I know. That's the drag. No, but in all seriousness, the first dinner, did you get to kiss her?
No.
You did not. How long before you get to actually kiss her?
I think it was on, like, the second date.
Second date.
And she kissed me.
No kidding. Yeah,
She took charge.
Yeah.
She just started doing...
Kind of caught me off guard, too.
Yeah, I know. You're probably thinking in the back of your mind, gee, she's been in all these movies with, like, all these really good-looking Hollywood actors and stuff. There's no way she's going to fall for me, right? There's just no way. I would be so goddamn insecure. I mean, she's been around every good-looking dude on the planet. I don't even know who she dated.
None of those dudes can weld.
That's true. You're real, you know what? Stick them on an island. Could they build transportation? No way.
She'd better stick with you.
They can't fix the microwave like I can when it breaks.
You actually are a man. You're a real man, right?
I guess so.
Yeah, compared to a lot of those guys.
Yeah.
They're very twinky, some of those guys. So did she lay down any rules? When you start to get in a relationship with her, she's got publicists, she's got all kinds of things. She's a super famous actress making $17 million a film. It's almost like Pretty Woman in reverse. You've got to get the rules read to you, right?
I think there's a certain level of respect that you don't have, if you love someone and respect them, you don't have to lay down rules,
First time you make love to her, you're like, oh, my God, I'm with Sandra Bullock. That's what I'd be. I don't even know if I could function.
How long does that take?
Were you, like, just freaked out?
I'm not talking about that.
Come on.
You guys got enough.
Seriously, she's the best lover of your life?
Absolutely, hands down.
Look at this.
Yep.
Keeps it real, huh?
Yep.
And you've been with some people.
You've been around.
Not
Did
really.
her people try to break you guys up at all at first?
Well, all of her friends, absolutely, like 100%, like no way, we're putting a stop to this. This is no good. And
Even
then,
I was going to call her and put a stop to it.
Really?
I said, what are you doing, honey? No, I don't know her. I had no idea what was going on. I'm happy for you. You know what I mean? It must be a great life. What do you guys do all day anyway?
Well,
you're working all the time, right?
Yeah, both of us work, and we surprisingly live a normal life. We just,
got a big house?
Not big.
But how do they do the finances? Because she
makes
has
a ton of dough. I mean, you make a great living, but the fact of the matter is, she's got a ton of dough. What do? You keep it separate, or you have a joint fund?
Everything's totally separate.
I mean, that's got to be complicated.
Yeah.
I mean, so the electric bill comes into the house. What do you do?
Who gets it?
Does the bill go to you? Does it go to her?
We flip a coin.
No, I'm being serious. How do you work that out? I mean, at some point in a relationship, how do you work that out?
Howard's all worried about the financial stuff.
But
like
in a way,
a Jewish stereotype playing itself out. I need the accounting. Let's see it.
No, but Jesse, in a sense, it's true. You're the guy. You're supposed to handle all that stuff. But she's sitting there making $17 million a film. I mean, it's kind of silly for you to have to pay that stuff. If I may be your lawyer, I mean, you know what I mean?
But she's got a pen and paper.
No, but you know what I'm saying? Like, what do you do when the bills come in?
Well, I pay my bills. She pays hers.
And then what about the joint bills? What about the electric? You're both using the lighting. I mean,
or do you
what?
not get any light?
If you love someone and as much as I love her, nothing's an issue in that respect. We just handle our own stuff, and some stuff I pay for, some stuff she pays for.
Prenup though, you got to sign, right?
With what?
You got to, when you get married to Sandra Bullock, the both of you got to work that out ahead of time. There's no way, especially you've been married 2 times before. You got to sit down and have that tough discussion. That can't be easy. Believe me, I know.
It was, everything about it was totally easy.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, because a lawyer came with a big phone
and I
book worth of
it's
papers.
it's a test, to people that kind of have perceived success in their field. We both are strong, and we don't. I think when it's lopsided, when you're marrying someone that's like a remora,
right?
And then you're gonna be sweating all the details. But her and I we're.
And you got a motorcycle shop, right?
Yeah, a little one.
A little one. No, you like a leading guy in this whole thing, right? I mean, you're the guy, right?
The leading guy.
You're the
Come
leading
on.
guy.
Yeah.
You build a motorcycle.
I build the best bikes in the world, hands down.
Big business. How many people you got working for you?
Probably about 40 or 50.
No kidding. That's nice.
How many people you got working here? Jesus, what's the payroll here?
About 150 people. I'm not kidding.
Just
you.
for
Payroll's $40.
And we don't make a thing.
Yeah, nobody gets paid.
Yeah.
You know what an honor it is to work here?
Nice. Interns.
I mean, listen, this is fantastic. Now, you've got Jesse James. Now, by the way, why the name Jesse James? That's not your real name.
Yeah, it is.
No, it isn't. James is your last name. You legally changed your name. What were you born as?
Mohammed.
No, come on. What was your
my
your
name's
name?
Jesse
Greg?
James, man.
That was your
my middle
birth
name's
name.
Greg.
Oh, okay. So
there's 7 Jessies in the family, and we all go by our middle names, so it's not confusing.
It is Jesse Gregory James.
Yeah,
You're
and
absolutely
so-
right. You do know your own name.
Yeah, my immediate family calls me Greg just to save confusion, and
Are you still talking to your mom and dad now that you're famous and well married?
No, I had them killed.
Well, I mean, seriously, Jesse, you don't talk to them, right?
I don't talk. My dad and I don't have any kind of relationship, but my mom is great. And
why is your mom great? If she let you leave the house at 15 and kind of booted you out the door, why is she great?
Because in the last couple of years, she's came around and started being a great grandma.
Yeah, I guess, but nevertheless, I mean, now it's easy to love you.
I
You're
was
successful.
hesitant. I was hesitant at first, because so much stuff we've been through, and the whole tornado of the relationship with Janine, killed a lot of stuff with my family, and
right.
But I think you have to, as long as your parents are willing to make the effort and.
But why did your family abandon you when you were going through all your hard times with Janine? I mean, why would they turn on you? Why wouldn't they support you? I don't get it.
Well, that didn't start with Janine. That started when I was like 5. And I was done with my family when I was 15. I bolted and went on my own. And
did you go into therapy years later? Because I mean, when your family isn't
therapy.
I'm being serious.
I went to court-ordered therapy one time when I was like 14 after I got out of jail.
Yeah.
And I threw a chair through the window.
You had some anger, huh?
Yeah, that's the only time I've ever went. So.
But why would therapy make you angry? In other words, you've got to be pissed off at your parents for doing this to you. I mean, that's a tough thing when you're 15.
I spent a lot of years being pissed and angry.
Right.
And I think a lot of the stuff I did, like stealing cars and getting in trouble, was kind of lashing out.
Right.
But now I kind of understand it, and I think you see someone with some fame and stuff, you think it's like a Lindsay Lohan situation and her folks or whatever, but it's my parents were like only speaking like my dad and my sister, they were gone like long before that. They had tried to steal from me like when I was like 19,
Wow.
So
the old man, has he tried to get in touch with you recently since, you're married to Sandra Bullock, you got successful television show, the whole thing?
I don't know. I've never heard from him.
Never?
So, no.
Do you know if he's alive?
Well, you got to respect him for that.
Do you know? Yeah, I do respect him for that. Do you know if he's alive?
Yeah, he's alive. I'm pretty sure.
How do you know that?
Because I haven't been sent a funeral bill yet.
Right. It's funny how that works.
Yeah.
Now, Jesse James is going to be on Jesse James is a Dead Man. Now, what does that mean, Jesse James is a dead man?
Well, we started, Monster Garage ended like in 2005.
Right. Fred, you must be a big Monster Garage guy, right?
I'm a big fan of Jesse's, too. I thought he was like, and I think I wish he had punched that guy on The Apprentice, who was asking those, who's that guy? That Piers Morgan?
Piers, yeah, the teabag dude.
I don't watch that show. What happened with Piers Morgan?
They were just kind of being dicks and like him and Donald Trump are like trying to press me to bring Sandy onto that show.
You're not going to do that.
Yeah, it was
and you know something? The lamest excuse that Donald could give to fire him is because he wouldn't bring,
Sandra
on the show. And I'm like, that's the dumbest excuse I've ever heard in my life.
Well, I mean, you were on the show. Doesn't mean Sandra Bullock's going to be on the show, right? I mean, it doesn't mean you come in a package. I didn't yell at you for not bringing her today, right?
No.
No, you. That's absurd. You were kicked off The Apprentice because you didn't bring Sandra Bullock on?
Well, I remember what Donald said. He said, well, you didn't bring her on for the big charity thing.
Yeah.
And so I don't see you bringing her on in the next couple of weeks, so you're fired.
Yeah, they kind of made themselves look like assholes,
Yeah.
but that's not hard for them.
So, Fred, you're a big fan of those
big
bikes?
fan. I'm a big fan of chopper building as an art form. I think he's one of the leaders in that field.
What bike do you ride? Let's see if Jesse has any respect for you.
He's not going to know. It doesn't care because I'm not a chopper rider. I ride a Triumph.
Nice.
I'm not a hog guy.
I'm too big for Triumphs. I look like an oaf on it.
So what the idea of a personalized chopper is? In other words, you build it's a one of a kind.
It's like if you went and had a tailor-made suit,
right,
to fit you. We kind of tailor-make bikes for customers. They'll come. Like we built one for Shaq. And he's 7'3".
Well, he would need one.
Is a guy like me a pussy because I don't ride a motorcycle? I'm afraid I'd hurt my leg or something like that, or roll off and get killed. You know what I mean? I actually have fear.
Well, you know what? I built a lot of bikes for guys like you.
Yeah.
Jesse, did they make them with training wheels?
Yeah, you build a
I'll admit it. I'm afraid. Let me ask you about motorcycle
But
riding.
I've seen guys like you that have come in the shop, and I'm like, oh man, who's this motherfucker coming in here? Like they got like a shiny Rolex and driving a BMW, and then I'll build them a bike.
Yeah.
I'll build them a bike, and it's kind of like it makes their personality come out of like who they really want to be, and like all of a sudden they got they're growing a little beard. And like,
in other words, you would say I'd be less feminine if I had a bike.
I think I could see you riding a bike.
You could.
Yeah.
I'll tell you my fear of riding a bike. I know a lot of guys who ride bikes, and they always have a story of an accident, and the ones that survive either have brain damage or I have one friend who is a big bike rider. He has pins in his legs, and this guy's a real,
I got pins in my legs.
No kidding, from falling off a bike.
Bikes, race cars, stuff like that.
Do you do hardcore stunts, right? What is this? Jesse's stunts on the show include riding a nitromethane-fueled motorcycle at 200 miles an hour.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
What, are you like Johnny Knoxville? Do you have the death wish as well?
No, I think this stuff that we're doing on the show is more challenges and stuff that's mentally and physically demanding. I think Jackass is great. I love that show, and I love Nitro Circus.
Right.
But it's more buffoonery of like hurling yourself off to something and stuff that's over in a split second. I want stuff that's going to be like, okay, I have to train for months to get ready to do this, and
a nitromethane-fueled motorcycle at 200 miles an hour, riding a motorcycle in minus 60-degree temperatures in the Arctic and leading the police on a high-speed chase. Are you insane? I mean, seriously, do you think you're crazy?
No, man, I'm lucky.
But doesn't even sound like fun, riding in the Arctic.
If I'm living the life you're living, you're successful. You've worked out all your issues with your parents. You're married to Sandra Bullock, one of the most successful actresses in Hollywood, and beautiful. You got great kids. I mean, what are you doing? What, you're going to risk your life doing this stuff?
Hey, man, life's only a one-lap race.
Is that true?
We only get one lap.
And
so you could either just sit here and talk about stuff all the time, or you could build a bike and put your chick on it and go ride. And I think it's
Am I a mama's boy because I don't do this?
You know what? I think it's great that you're scared of it, because that means you'll love it that much more when you actually do it.
Well, I think I'll love it more when you do it.
When you get over your fear and you jump on a bike and you take your chick up to like New Hampshire or wherever. I mean, you live in the best riding place in the planet.
Right.
And put your chick on it and you get it and you kind of squint your eyes and you could feel the sun on your skin and like.
There's no better feeling to you.
Ed, you would love it. I can tell your personality because I've built bikes for guys like you.
Guys like me?
All of a sudden, like. He'd come in and he'd kick over the trash can. And like, yeah,
I would come to life.
Look, motherfuckers, we need to get some shit straight around here.
Watching American Idol?
Yeah.
I like American Idol.
You watch it too, right?
I've watched every episode.
Do you vote?
Did you vote? I voted last night. If you don't vote, then you can't complain about who your idol is.
I sent 5701 to vote last night.
Did you?
Me too. 5701. I can prove it to you.
I got it. You could go get my pager from the green room.
Want to see mine? I'll prove it to you. How many times did you vote last night?
Just once.
I voted 3 times.
We're kicking you out of the club.
Yeah. You know, I hear what you're saying. I could see me riding on the back of your bike with my arms wrapped around you. You know what I mean? And my hair blowing in the wind.
All snuggled up.
I can see it. It might be kind of romantic.
With his little thong hanging out of the back of his
He'll
pants.
have the girl helmet on.
Dave, you're on the air. You're on with Jesse James. The big show is Jesse James is a dead man. Evidently, he's going to do things on there that only real men like myself can dream of. You're a Superman.
Do you ever think you would get off the couch and ride a motorcycle?
No, I'm too afraid. I'm too much.
We'll hook up. I'll make him do it. Yeah, we'll leave him stranded somewhere, and the only way he's going to get back is to get on a bike and ride home.
Maybe if you throw that wife of yours on the back of my bike, I might take a spin. I don't know. Let's go to Dave. Dave, you're on with Jesse James.
Hey, Howard. How are you doing?
All right.
Good. Hey, Jesse. How are you?
What's up, man?
Hey, man. I big fan of yours and been riding bikes since I was 4 years old, and I got to agree with you, to Howard. There, he's got to get on a bike and experience it because it's.
You know what's funny about this? There's a lot of guys out there riding bikes and living the wild life. Fred.
I love it.
And where am I in all this?
You got to just do it.
Missing it, Howard. Missing it.
You know what? I think I'm too much of a mama's boy. My mother had tremendous fear. You're not riding.
My parents told me that if I ever got a bike, I'd be kicked out of the house. Well, fuck it. I moved out and then got a bike.
You're a rebel. You're your own man.
Yeah.
But do you ever think of confronting your fears?
Absolutely not. You want to know something, though? Yes, I do.
I'm going to be honest. One time he picked a hangnail, and it went all the way.
You want to know
it
something,
went past
Jesse?
the nail bed.
Jesse, in a way, you're right. In a way, you're right. I'm going to be honest with you right now.
He's going to go to bed without brushing his teeth.
I am so full of fear. Jesse, I am so full of fear that, do you know, when I first started to run, I run. That's my exercise. And when I start to run, I would hear my mother's voice in my head saying, you can't run in the rain. You'll get cold, you'll get sick, and you'll die.
This guy's laughing.
And Jesse, as you took up motorcycles and riding at 200 miles an hour, what I did was I ran in the rain. And Jesse, I consider this
crazy style.
Yeah. And you think I'm joking?
Were you wearing dolphin shorts?
I considered myself a rebel at that point. Now, mind you, I was 40 years old, and I thought, wow, look at me, I'm running in the rain. I don't care.
F you, Ma.
If I get an F you.
How serious?
Hey, Jesse.
How serious are you about it?
You want to know something, Jesse?
When you come to a stoplight, do you keep running in place?
I do. You know what, Jesse? I'll tell you what. Here's my analogy to you. I kind of feel that, in a way, my radio show and what I did with my life was my, if you will, fuck you to my parents. To my mother, who always said, you can't do this, you can't do that. You are going to be sensitive to women. I was raised in a house of women where I had to be sensitive. And in a way, I went on the radio and I became this maniac, an insane person. So maybe you doing the motorcycle thing was me doing the radio show. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I can still see your personality. You know, and I think it is about confronting your fears. You know, you learn once you push yourself through a level of fear. You know, and I learned this on doing the new TV show. Once you push yourself, if I do something and I go, oh shit, this is gonna hurt. You know, and I know that I'm scared and I can't sleep the night before, and I know it's gonna be gnarly. Really? Then I know that's going to be good TV, and I know I'm going to, like, when you get to the other side and you pull it off and you land it and you still got all your arms and legs, it's like the raddest feeling you could ever imagine.
I think that's how I feel about radio. When I would go on, and it was so conservative, and I'd go on and do these things that people said you can't do, I think I got that same kind of rush.
Yeah, but you've already done it all. What are you going to do now?
I play chess.
What do you do?
I run in the rain.
I'll make you a deal. I'll build you a bike for free if you ride it.
What?
Yeah.
I don't think
not some
Jesse,
thing
I don't think I could do it.
Not even like down like a straight little.
I'll ride with you. You and I can take a road trip. And
I can hold on to you.
Yeah, I'll build you one of my little $100,000 specials if you ride it.
You want to know something, Jesse? That's a very generous offer, and I thank you for that. But I think I'm going to stay on the road.
You think about it.
Let me think about it. Let me mull it over. But I wouldn't accept that.
Go buy some motorcycle magazines and see if you like it.
You feel it would open me up?
I'm telling you, dude. I'm 100% right about this every time.
Maybe you're right.
I look at some people, and they come into the shop, and I can tell that guy's never going to ride that bike, and that bike's never going to fit him. And then I see some guys that come in, and they're a little hesitant.
I don't have the
They're
desire.
scared.
I don't have the desire.
They're scared like you.
I don't need it.
Is there anything
You don't.
that
You don't
do
know.
want?
You don't know you need it, but you do.
You think I need it?
I think I'm 100%.
What's something?
And
what
I
is a fear
guarantee you-
you've confronted? But wait a second. Have you, like, maybe you have a fear of public speaking or something? Maybe you're afraid. I mean, what is your fear? Your real fear. Okay, so you can get on a bike and ride.
My biggest fear in the world.
Seeing your father.
No, is making sure my 3 kids grow up strong and healthy.
But no, come on. That's not your biggest fear.
It is. I got a 14-year-old daughter, man. She's 5'10" and blonde hair and green eyes, and like.
Well, you got
How old is she?
14.
Oh my!
So.
My biggest fear is walking outside
But I get
naked.
I get scared of a lot of stuff. You know,
should do it.
I'm afraid someone's going to see my penis.
You should show it.
Would you ever show your penis to the public? Aren't you afraid of that? Are you well hung?
No.
You're not. See?
No.
There's something you won't confront.
No.
Let's go to Dan. Let some people say hi to you. But I tell you what, I would be really nervous. You think I could ride in a sidecar, maybe?
I have a sidecar.
You do have
bike.
one? I
Yeah.
might be able to handle that. Dan, go ahead. You're on the air.
Hey, first time, long time, big fan, love you all. Hey, Jesse, about 6 or 7 years ago, you were at a car show in a town called Paso Robles, California. Does that ring a bell?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I was there in a bar across the street on the balcony, and you were at a place called Boosie's. There was a massive crowd of people, and all of a sudden, every single cop, I've never seen so many cops, had to be 30 to 50, just swarmed over there. And the rumor is, tell me if it's right or not, is that some guy was talking shit to you and basically called you a sellout, and you decked the guy. Is that true?
No, that's not true.
You didn't have a bar fight?
No, some guy did start a bunch of stuff with me, but I was with my son. Him and I drove my little 29 Ford up there together, and we had just got there, and the guy like kind of was belligerent and got in my face, and like,
Why? He's jealous?
Yeah, the rumor mill had you beating the shit out of this guy, and as soon as I heard you're on, I was like, I got to find out the truth.
Are you good in hand-to-hand combat?
I've never lost a fight.
You've never lost a fight in your life?
I've taken my licks, but I've never been beat yet.
You've been in bar fights?
Yes.
And with some tough motherfuckers, I imagine.
I got hit in the side of the head with a Newcastle bottle one time.
No kidding.
In Flint, Michigan.
And you still beat the shit out of the guy?
Yeah.
Look at you. Where'd you learn how to fight like that? In the street, or did you do martial arts?
I took Taekwondo's dough.
You just know how to fight from growing up, right?
No, I took a little bit of martial. I don't want to talk about that stuff.
You did a little bit of martial arts?
Yeah.
You know, I'm a brown belt in Shotokan?
You can go to any martial arts store and buy any color belt you want. They're like $19.
Hey, I might have to fight you.
You could be a triple black belt.
You've never lost a fight?
No.
You think you could do ultimate fighting?
You know what? I'm not much of a grappler. You know, the kind of fighting that I did, that if you go down to the ground, you cut your percentage of winning by 50%.
So what would you do? Just punch a guy?
I think, keep your space and keep your distance,
How do you take them out?
Well, the best way I've found is break their clavicle.
No kidding.
If you break collarbone's super easy to break.
How do you break the collarbone?
You can slap it. It only takes like 4 pounds of pressure to break it.
No kidding. So you're telling